Morning.
Morning. I'm good,
Morning.
thanks, and yourself?
Good.
Thank you very much for logging on in time. The program was supposed to be starting at 10 o'clock. We are in communication with the IT department. They've indicated that they will be requesting 10 minutes so that we can be able to wrap up and ensure that all the members that are participating in this session would have logged on and all IT matters would have been resolved. The program will then be starting at 10:15. We request that everyone becomes patient and wait while we are still adding on other members and participants in this session. Thank you in advance for understanding.
Thank you.
Thank you, noted. Thank you.
Itholile lokhu njani ma? I-link. Ngicela SMS-ele i-email address yakho kule phone.
Ole, I think for it. Oh, okay.
Muyo la uzophoza naye. Yabo ngiyamukeselana.
No, Chairperson.
Mase kuphungula sokhanjwa. Sangibheka.
Okay, we are good to go. Let me again greet you as the participants of our Young Women's Virtual Seminar for the year 2020. Ngiyanibingelela nonke enikhona ngithi namkelekile kule platform that has been created for us to engage as young women on matters affecting young women and how we move forward to ensure that the lives of young women is made better. Igama lami nginguFikile wakaMasiko. I'm a member of the National Assembly. I'm serving in the Committee for Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, and I've been given the responsibility of directing this program. Before I even start in terms of the program that has been projected before us, I would like to briefly take you through, as members and attendees of this seminar, through the housekeeping rules. This will assist us to ensure that our session runs very smoothly, because we know that we are currently dealing with a new normal. Ordinarily, we are in Parliament or in another a venue where we are all accommodated in one space. But because we are dealing with the issue, or we are having this seminar in the time of a global pandemic, there are new normals that we need to adapt to. and operate according to those regulations. So currently we have projected the housekeeping rules that will ensure that our meeting is running smoothly and we're all able to participate in a way that will allow us to hear each other. We will go to Section B of the rules. In fact, it's Section C because we've passed to Section A, which was taking us through what must happen. Section C is now saying that we are now connected. Since we are connected, we will agree in this platform that we will keep our cameras inactive. It means that our cameras A2 must be switched off. Our mics must also be switched off. I know that we've been going through the how Microsoft Teams operates, so we are able to pick up the camera icon as well as the mic icon on our screens. So we must ensure that at all times our cameras are inactive. And the only time we will be expected to switch on the camera is when you have been recognized to speak. B is saying that please use your mic icon to select, mute, or unmute. And this will only take place again once you have been recognized to speak. You will unmute your mic, you will unmute your camera so that you are able to be seen and heard. And then once you have finished making your contributions, you will mute your mic, you will switch off the camera so that the next person can take the platform. C says that to get the attention of the presiding officer, which is myself, you must select the option to raise your hand. So in our screens, there is a hand icon. I think for many of us, you will go to more, and then you will see an icon that says raise your hand. So you raise your hand so that you are able to be recognized by the presiding officer or the chairperson, or in this case, the program director. Once your hand is raised, the program director will acknowledge you, and then only can you unmute your mic and take the platform. If by any chance the presiding officer is not recognizing or has not recognized or seen your hand, you may call your name once so that we can be able to pick up that you are requesting to be on the platform. Once you have been given the opportunity to speak, I have mentioned that, which is D, both your mic and your camera must be switched on. But we must try by all means, when you are given the platform, to do away with my hand gestures like raising your hand when you are speaking, because that will draw the attention of the viewers and it will disturb your contributions in the speech. F says that keep your eyes on the screen during the period that your camera is on, because it will be able to interact better with the other participants. And then the last one is saying that at the end of the meeting, please note that it might take a minute to switch off the live streaming, and whatever you say might still be heard by viewers. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are our housekeeping rules that I'm sure that we will all keep to them and observe them so that our meetings will run smoothly. I know that we've seen in other platforms where people just stand up, some are wearing towels and all of that. And I'm hoping that this meeting of ours won't be the case. The last one is saying that we need to look professional, which means that we must just be decent so that we're able to represent the nature of this meeting that we are in. It tells us that we must avoid wearing strapless tops in case the video is cropped, as well as also avoid wearing clothing with patterns or stripes, because this might also give a bad reflection. But these are the housekeeping rules, and I'm sure that we are all we have read them, and we are now acquainted in terms of being able to use this platform that we are in. Let us now proceed with our program. I had introduced myself as the program director for today. This is the 2020 virtual Young Women's Seminar, and we are all saying to your good selves, welcome to the new normal. We are going to host this seminar in this platform, which is a virtual platform that the KZN Legislature has created for us. We will be hosting this seminar under the theme, which is saying Youth Power, Growing South Africa Together in the time of COVID-19. So we know that this is a global pandemic that we are facing, and we are now adapting to the new normals, which says that we must, in effect, ensure that we are safe, and however, the work needs to continue. The sub-theme for this seminar is saying together, pushing for the future we want, young women on course to end femicide and gender-based violence. You are then welcome, all of you, to this platform. I would like to acknowledge the participants that we are having here today. In attendance, we are having Honorable P. Mbatha-Cele, who is the Chairperson for the Standing Committee on the Quality of Life and Status of Children, Youth, Women, Senior Citizens, and Persons with Disabilities. Siyakwamukela sihlalo wethu, siyakuthanda and siyabonga ukuthi ikomiti lakho likwazile ukuthi lisicreatele i-platform where young women will come together regardless of the circumstances that we are finding ourselves in. We must also welcome warmly the members of the Standing Committee on the Quality of Life. Honorable members, you are all welcome. As young women, we are confident that the lives of young women and women in general in South Africa is taken care of through this committee of yours. We are having Pastor L. Mashiteng, who will be giving us the opening prayer for this program. We are having members of the South African Police Services participating in this program as well. The National Youth Development Agency is acknowledged. The Commission on Gender Equality, CGE, is also present. The Black Management Forum is also present in this platform. We welcome as well the members of the Total Shutdown Movement. We welcome the young women from the different political parties that are represented in the KwaZulu-Natal Legislature. We know that represented are the African National Congress Youth League, the IFP Youth Brigade, the DA Youth, the EFF Youth Command. NFP is also represented, ACDP, ATM, and the Minority Front. We welcome all the young members who are representing these political parties in this platform. We have youth ambassadors. We are also having representation from the grade 12 learners from all the districts in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We are also having our dear officials from the KZN Legislature, the Office of the Premier, the different government departments. For instance, there's health, there's economic development, tourism and environmental affairs, as well as transport and community safety. There's also UK's representation from UKZN as well as LOSCOP. We will then deliver this program to a higher being. It's important that when we start a program or any other aspects that we are doing or having in our lives, we all have a spiritual higher being that we connect to. And I'm requesting for us to dedicate this time and dedicate this program to a spiritual being. We know that in Proverbs 16 verse 3, there is a verse that says that commit to the Lord whatever you do and your plans will succeed. we will request Pastor Mashiteng to open this platform in prayer. Put forward for us, Pastor, the plight of young women in this country, especially during the period of COVID-19. There is the scourge of gender-based violence. There is the inability of young women to prosper in this country because we are facing so much violence, mainly through our intimate partners and those that we trust as male figures in our lives. We are requesting you, Pastor, to formally open this program for us in prayer, and I'm handing over to your good self. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Program Director. Greetings to you. Greetings to the Chairperson of the QOL Standing Committee, Honorable P. Mbatha-Cele, all honorable members of the QOL Standing Committee, all representing various organizations, all protocol observed. Without a waste of time, I would like us to pray. But before we pray, I just want to share this word with you. Nothing is as powerful as a woman who clearly understands the purpose and the reason why God places them in a position. The word of God says in Psalm 75, verse 6 and 7, "For promotion comes neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south, but God is the judge. He puts down one and sets up another." When God raises us to certain positions as women, He gives us a voice so that we can be heard. And to be silent when we have been placed in positions where God is trusting us to speak up is doing injustice to the purpose and the calling God has called us forth for. I would like us to take the example of Queen Esther, who was the queen of Persia at a certain period of time in the history of the Jews. There was a time when the Jews were being attacked and there was a plan to annihilate them. But this queen had to raise her voice and speak, even though it threatened even her life. But she said, "I will pray, I will fast, I will speak. If I perish, I perish." Because her uncle had reminded her that she had been put in that position of royalty for such a time as this. When we read the book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 14, it reads as thus: "For if you remain silent at the time like this, relief and deliverance of the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this." Ngizothi namhlanje kubantu besifazane, it is time for us to raise our voice. It is time for us ukuthi siye ukuthula izwe lethu libhubha. Ngizothi namhlanje uthuleleni umuntu wesifazane onakala. So as we pray today, I need us to ask our God to really help us to realize ukuthi we have been given a voice. And in these times of the pandemic, in these times where gender-based violence is rising at this rate, uNkulunkulu is waiting for prayers of women to cry out to Him, for Him to intervene and heal our land. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you in the name of Jesus Christ. Lord God Almighty, we thank you. Ukuthi uNkulunkulu onamandla, you are waiting to hear us call upon you whenever uNkulunkulu oyingcwele, this land of ours goes through izimo ezifana nalezi esibhekene nazo. Yes, Lord, we are aware that our land is sick. We see it all the time in the news. We see women being abused, even during this time of the global pandemic. Siyabona uNkulunkulu onamandla ukuthi only you can intervene. Only you can help us. And right now, as we have come together in this platform, we trust you ukuthi uzosisiza. Yes, Lord, ukuthi sikhulume as you allow us to, with the wisdom that you give us. so that the decisions that are taken may advance your kingdom. Because kuyintando yakho ukuthi South Africa may live in peace and every citizen in South Africa may experience uthando lwakho and your peace. Father, we commit everything to you. We say, have your way in this meeting. Titi rule and reign in South Africa. Titi heal our land. Titi put a stop to gender-based violence. Titi intervene even in the hearts of the perpetrators and turn them towards you. We give you praise. We say less of us and more of you in this meeting. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you, Program.
And amen. Siyabonga kakhulu, Pastor. Thank you more for reminding us about how it's important for us to raise our voices and speak out, not only for ourselves, Pastor, but also for those young women and those women that have still not realized that they have the ability to speak out against any form of abuse, emotional, physical, or any other way, and speak out against that. Thank you very much, Pastor, for reminding us about that. We are having or holding or hosting this session of ours during the month of June, which reminds us that there is an activity that took place that actually changed our lives for the better as South Africans. And we must really thank the KZN Legislature through the Quality of Life Standing Committee for that opportunity for us as young women to participate in a platform of this nature. We know that this year, 2020, marks exactly 44 years since the Soweto student uprising that took place in June 16, 1976. This is a day that we know had ushered in a decisive turning point for the liberation struggle in South Africa. Today, we can safely and proudly say that we stand on great shoulders. And for us, the young people of 1976 played a role, so much so that we are today being able to see young people walking in the corridors of power, be it in the government sector or be it in the private sector. And this is because the youth of 1976 recognized the need to take onto the street and fight for the liberation of young people in this country. So we are saying that as much as we are hearing the narrative of the June 16 Soweto uprising, it's important for us to also acknowledge the role that young women played in that struggle. We must acknowledge that they were participants in the planning of that day, as well as also they were victims and they even died in that day. Young women did play a role there. We need to bring those names to the fore because those names are seldom ever recognized. We have a Hamina Loraka, a young woman who on June 16, 1976 was shot dead in Diepskloof. Her name, like many others, is unknown. We have Antoinette Sithole. Antoinette Sithole is famously known as the sister to Hector Peterson. But we know that Antoinette Sithole, like many other young women, had taken a conscious decision to participate in the Soweto uprising, not only as a sister to Hector Peterson, but as a young woman who wanted to participate in the struggle that they were facing at that time. There is the name of Sibongile Mkhabela, who was the only woman who was in the executive of the Soweto Student Representative Council, as well as the student movement that planned the June 16 of that time. We stand indeed on great shoulders, and we recognize the role that was played by young women. And we also commit that in terms of the narrative of the Soweto uprising, we will continue to mention the young women that played the role in June 16, 1976. As much as we are recognizing the role and commemorating the strength and the ability of youth in general, it's quite sad that we are doing so as a country. We are dealing with issues of gender-based violence. This country is facing this demon of gender-based violence, and it's quite sad that during the month of June, there are a number of cases that have been brought to the fore of young women that have been brutally killed by their intimate partners. There is a Tseho Pule who was 8 months pregnant and was found hanging from a tree and killed by a man. There's Mamele Mangotwa, who was shot 15 times by her husband, who is currently out on bail. Nosipho Sibabuke, who was kidnapped by 2 men and later found murdered. There's Sanele Mtaba, who was found stabbed and murdered in Dobsonville. There's Naledi Pangindao, 26 years of age and a mother of 3, who was killed by a man. These are the cases of young women that, unfortunately for us, whilst we are commemorating Youth Month, June month as Youth Month, we have had to deal with such cases. But we shall never be despondent. We shall continue the fight against gender-based violence and femicide throughout 365 days of the year. That fight is ours, not only as young women, but together standing with our male counterparts. You are therefore, with those words, welcome to this platform that has been created for us to participate on issues of young women, looking at, during this COVID-19 period, issues of gender-based violence, but over and above that, how do we capacitate young women to be able to move out of the cycle of poverty so that they themselves can become economically active and liberated, so that they are able to move out of any situation that they face. I will then hand over to Honorable P. Mbatha-Cele, who will take us through the purpose of this program, as well as give us the background as to why we are here and assist us in understanding better in terms of our participation. Over to you, Chairperson of this Quality of Life Committee.
Program Director, Ms. Fikile Masiko, members of Quality of Life Standing Committee, Pastor Mashiteng, representative from government departments, Ms. Naidu, KZN Legislature Secretary, Office of the Speaker, Office of the Premier, presenters, youth formations, learners, businesswomen, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. Program Director, allow me to start by welcoming you and the delegates on behalf of the Standing Committee, Quality of Life on Status of Women, Children, Senior Citizen, Youth and People with Disability. Program Director, June is dedicated to the youth of 1976 who stood up against the apartheid government and Program Director, June is dedicated to the youth of 1976 who stood up against the apartheid government and laid down their lives fighting for freedom and the right to equal education. We also salute you, young women and girls who were directly involved in June 16 uprising. We salute young women like Dikeleti Ncwane, who was a grade 9 pupil at EDTEA Senior Secondary, Priscilla Mosenyane, who was a grade 4 pupil at St. Matthew's Roman Catholic School, Martha Matthews, who was a grade 12 student at Kekeleto Senior Secondary, to name the few, Program Director. We are commemorating the Youth Month under the theme I quote, "Youth power growing South Africa together in period of COVID-19, close quote. Program Director, we as members of this committee note with sadness that the country during this COVID-19 has experienced rise on gender-based violence cases. Number of cases has been reported, in particular femicide, which directed to young women and girls during this month of June. Whatever the causes may be, Program Director, I wish to reiterate and join the calls to say bodies of women are not, should not, and must not be anyone's crime of sin. Enough is enough. Women have a fundamental right to live free, and the right of women to live without abuse is upheld in the 1979 Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women, and more recently, a Sustainable Development Goal 5.2, which aims to eliminate all forms of violence against women and girls by 2030. These are all declarations that the world had committed itself to end violence against women. Young women and girls who are with us here today must take the lead and ensure that they all join fight with intensity to make sure that none of you, your friends, family members, find themselves abused simply because of their gender. I am saying this knowing very well at the back of my mind that some women still hide this crime for, in most cases, to protect the perpetrators. I encourage you all to roll out sleeves for the fight against the perpetrators. Let us support those who are vulnerable amongst us. Total emancipation of our nation will never be complete unless women enjoy their rights as equal citizens, free of abuse and harassment. President Nelson Mandela said, I quote, "Freedom cannot be achieved unless the women have been emancipated from all forms of oppression," close quote. Program Director, with this seminar, the Standing Committee on Quality of Life aims to demonstrate a clear commitment to breaking new grounds on women's rights and send clear message to law enforcement agencies to join us as we seek a society free of this crime. This seminar also seeks to expose you to various economic opportunities available for you and many more women in our province. Economic freedom is the ability of individuals to make their own economic decisions and the key towards economic and social progress. We like to see young women owning properties, operating business of their own, achieving high level of income, reduction of poverty, and empowerment in matters of reproductive health and educational outcomes. We seek situations where women live independent, more involved in the economy. This is another aim of this seminar, Mbatha-Cele. Mbatha-Cele, also in this seminar, we have invited all political parties that are represented in the legislature. We invited young girls from high schools in different districts in the KZN province. We invited KZN child ambassadors. We invited young entrepreneurs, survivors of gender-based violence. We also have guests from UKZN and guests from SAPS. Mbatha-Cele also have our guest from Law Scope. Mbatha-Cele, before I mentioned that before I conclude, let me introduce members of the portfolio committee to you so that you'll know who are the members of this standing committee. I am the chairperson of the Standing Committee on Quality of Life. We also have Honorable Swartboy Ntombela from the ANC. We have Honorable Ncwane from the ANC. We have Honorable Ncwane from the ANC. We have Honorable Ngubane from the ANC. We have Honorable Xulu from the ANC. And we have Honorable Madloba Mthethwa from the IFP. We have Honorable Ncwane from the IFP. We have Honorable Manele from the ACDP. We have Honorable Kika from EDTEA. And we have Honorable Dlamini from the EFF. Program Director, I would like to congratulate you for having been nominated, the delegate for having been nominated to participate in this seminar today. And I wish you all the best. And as members of this committee, we look forward to your participation. As I conclude, I must state that members of the committee have a constitutional duty to make laws and conduct oversight over government and its programs. We will therefore, as engaged, keep that in our mind, and your contributions are likely to give us insight into some of the things we may need to take forward as part of our oversight duty. Mphathi wahlelo, njengosihlalo ngiyafisa ukunxusa ama-delegates na wonke umuntu okhona la kule seminar ukuthi aparticipate, akhululeke, asebenzise noma yiliphi ulimi akwazi ukulisebenzisa. Njengoba sileli committee uQuality of Life, sifisa ukuthi sizwe ukuthi ikuphi ngempela abantu abasha besifazane bakwaZulu-Natal abafisayo ukuthi babone uhulumeni ebasiza ngakho. Siyanikhulula nje ukuthi ningesabi ucontributor. Sizoba ke nama presenters ethu azobe presenter kuma topics ahlukahlukene. Siqhubeke futhi mayiseqedile ukupresenta, will give you an opportunity to ask questions and also to share with us your experiences as abantu abasha bakwaZulu-Natal. Knowing very well that we are in COVID-19, abanye bethu they've experienced izinto ezahlukahlukene. More in particular, I'm talking about the girls who are attending schools. I know they were receiving some of the things from the school. For example, at high school level and also in primary level, they were receiving the sanitary towels during the schools. But now when they are in a lockdown situation, would like to know ukuthi in affected kangakanani i-lockdown, benwathola kanjani ama-sanitary towels, were delivered into your doorsteps or you suffered a lot. Mphathi wohlelo, allow me to quote the wise words from wise women. Allow me to quote the wise word from a wise woman, Ukoko Channel. I quote, "Little girls with dreams becomes women with vision," close quote. Therefore, Mphathi wohlelo, I hand over this program to you and wish that all participants, they participate, and at the end of this program, siphuma nama resolutions that will be forwarded to all the government departments in KwaZulu-Natal. I thank you.
Sibonge kakhulu umhlonishwa Sihlalo for clearly outlining the purpose of this virtual seminar. And I think once again, Chairperson, we must reiterate our heartfelt appreciation on behalf of young women of this province. There is a saying that there is nothing about us and for us without us. And the Standing Committee has clearly shown that the voices of young women in this province matter, and they will be taken into consideration when the committee is crafting its program, but also the committee's oversight role in terms of following up on government's department on how they are attending to issues of young women in this province. Siyabonga kakhulu Sihlalo, abantu besifazane in the province, young women really appreciate it. And it's also important to the attendees to know that when we are saying that it is legislature for the people and by the people, this is what we are talking about, and we have put that into action. We are talking about an activist parliament that goes down to the grassroots and takes issues from the people and adequately respond to the issues of people in general, and in this case, young women in particular. So sibonga nje sibambe ngezandla zombini, sibonga umsebenzi omkhulu by this legislature. We know as well, Sihlalo, that violence against women and girls is the most prevalent violation of the human rights. And correctly put, Sihlalo, there is no way that we can politicize the violence against women. It knows no political party and it knows no creed. So it's important for us when we are dealing in such responses of gender-based violence, we bring all interested and affected parties to this platform to contribute. Thank you very much. We will then move to the category of the presentations that we will be receiving. We will take all the presentations together, and then after that, we will give an opportunity for young women to engage on the presentations. The chairperson of the Quality of Life Head has highlighted the fact that we are not only here to absorb and consume the information. The committee is also here to take on the views of young women in this province so that when they are doing their oversight, they know which areas to attend to. The presentation that we will be receiving now, and we will be giving this presentation in 10 minutes, it will be done by the Commission of Gender Equality, by Ms. Z Ncwane. Ms. Z Ncwane will be telling us what the impact of gender-based violence on young women is. What more can be done to put an end to this epidemic, especially during this period of COVID-19. We've heard that during this session, or maybe during the months of the lockdown, women have been locked down with abusive partners. They've been locked down with intimate partners who have themselves been frustrated by other things, and then they've brought those frustrations home. So the Commission on Gender Equality will take us through this presentation, and once we've done with all the presentations, we'll be given an opportunity as young women to engage, ask questions, comments, and make contributions. Over to you, Ms. Ncwane, sorry.
Program Director, Sesifikile, ngiyabonga ithuba. My name is Z Ncwane, from the Commission for Gender Equality. I hope I am audible and enough. Can I get an indication that? Okay.
You are clearly audible and visible.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Greetings to the person of the Quality of Life Committee, Umama Mbatha-Cele, and also to all the members of this important committee. Greetings to my fellow presenters, and a warm greeting to all the young women that are participating in this session today. I have sent in advance the presentation, but let me just speak through to it quickly. Okay, I can see it's up there now. As I said, my name is Z Ncwane. I am the provincial manager responsible for the province of KwaZulu-Natal. The Commission for Gender Equality ile commission eyakhiwe umthetho-sisekelo. Ungasithola kwi-Constitution yase-South Africa lapha ku-Section 187 of the Constitution. Singenye yama-commission esebenza ngokufana ne-commission le yaka-Human Rights. Human Rights ibhekeleke okuqondene namalungelo empilo. thina siyi-Commission for Gender Equality owethu umsebenzi uclear uspecific ukuthi sipromote i-respect for gender equality in the country. We are doing this as mandated by the power that is given to us under Section 187.2, which gives us the power to perform our functions. That what we do is actually we monitor, we investigate, we research, we also educate, which is very important to put an emphasis on that point today, because this is the part of our education mandate to educate the public on matters that concern gender equality. In the next slide, we are showing what is our vision as the Commission. We have a vision of a society free from all gender oppressions and inequality in the country. In the next slide, thank you very much. In the next slide, it's a brief presentation that tells you, a participant, that we have 3 departments in that how we do our work. We have a legal department, we have a research department, we have a public education and information department. In our legal department, that we take cases that come directly also from the public, but we also initiate investigations on our own. Importantly so is the research department, which assists us as the Commission to also go out there and find out whether policies that are being put together by various government departments, whether are actually responding or answering to the needs of the community. In our public education department, it's the department that is responsible for publicizing the Commission, but also publicizing all matters that has to do with gender equality. In my next slide, let me quickly talk about the statistics. I want to start by saying that statistics numbers are very important, because that's how we gauge where we are in the issue that we are dealing with. Program director, when she was opening, she did outline the statistics. Also, Mama Mbatha-Cele also touched on statistics. Statistics in this instance, we are looking at whether there is an increase. I am putting an underlining an emphasis on whether there is an increase in gender-based violence incidents, particularly during COVID. We will engage with that point further when we get to the following slides. But safe to say in these slides that generally talking about statistics, we don't have at the moment from SAPS statistics that talk to crime for the current year. Also, if we look at statistics that were published for 2018-2019, in particular looking at 3 categories, looking at sexual offenses, looking at rape, and then looking at murder. If you look at these 3 categories, it said that last year, 2018-2019, there was a decrease. But 2017-2018, the numbers were high. Then in 2018-2019, the SAPS said there is a decrease. Why they say there is a decrease? They mainly speak about the numbers of the crimes that were reported to the SAPS police stations. Currently, we are looking at whether the crimes has increased, and this information we are looking at it from Department of Health, we are looking at it from Social Development, we are also looking at it from the police services. It is very important then to mention that there is also a lot of information in terms of services for victims, or even information on incidents of gender-based violence that is within this, the NGOs, what we call civil society. In my next slide, I've spoken a bit on the impact of gender-based violence on young women. The first point that I've put in there is the issue of teenage pregnancy. This speaks to cases where young women find themselves whether by being raped or even also led by economic situations that they find themselves in. We end up with an increase, which is also a huge challenge in South Africa, the rate of teenage pregnancy. It will also, because of GBV, there's a high rate of school dropouts, particularly on young women. They drop out from school after falling pregnant, then they don't go back to school. Again, there I've put an emphasis that this have a devastating long-term effect on this young women's livelihood. Chances of a young woman going back to school after pregnancy are minimal, and that has an effect in terms of their chances of living a better life. Again, GBV, it also leads on early or childhood or even forced marriages. I am also want to emphasize the work that and appreciate the work that is done by committee, the Quality of Life Standing Committee under the leadership of Mbatha-Cele. We are working tirelessly, specifically on this point of early childhood and forced marriages under the banner of Uthwala. That is one of the impact that we have seen caused by the GBV. Again, under the COVID and the lockdown, we have also seen an increase in challenges of access and exercising of young women to access and exercise choice and sexual reproductive health services. We have in our legal department, as we were working during, as we are still working during lockdown, we have had cases and incidents where young women going to the clinic to access ama-services alokesithi ukuhlela umndeni. Uma befika eklinikhi, some have been turned back. Amaklinikhi athi kubona sibhizi thina sisebenza uCovid, asisebenzi indaba zabantu abazohlela umndeni. So that also is one of the experiences that we has came to our in terms of access to sexual reproductive health rights. Again, the other impact is important long-term economic dependency. When a young woman has fallen pregnant, has left school, is not getting is not able to secure safe and safe employment, then there's a long-term dependency on social grants. The other point is a dependence, economic dependency on their partners, which in the end, in most cases, also lead to being exposed in terms of exploitation. Exploitation in terms also of sexual exploitation, because you are economically dependent on this partner. Next slide, please. There was a question that said, what are the reasons that might have led, that have led to the increase in GBV and during this period? In responding to that question, I've also asked the question, is there an increase in GBV cases? Are we then by implication saying in December, the cases were not that bad? Maybe in October last year, it was not as it is now. I've highlighted here a few cases to show that violence against women and children has always been a serious challenge for the country. Maybe an increase is actually in the media coverage and reporting of GBV. But the truth of the matter is violence against women and children has always been a challenge. I've highlighted a few cases. In 2010, Mbatha-Cele was sentenced for murdering 13 women. Back then, he was termed sugarcane serial killer. I understand that we have young women, some of them are just now in grade 10, grade 12. So in 2010, they were very young. This Mbatha-Cele, i-modus operandi yakhe wayethi mehlangana nabantu besifazane abakhohlise athi kunomsebenzi yena usebenzela inkampani thizeni the akafuna abantu besifazane abadinga umsebenzi bese-ke eyabalutha agcine ebaholele ophathe ezimobeni ngapha ko-Port St. John's afike khona ababulali. Ngo-2016, these are just few cases that I'm using as an example to illustrate the fact that women and children have always been the victims. 2016, Dylan killed his girlfriend ngoba esemalile wayomyela emsebenzini wafike wamdubula wambulala. In 2017, uZanele Hlwatshayo was murdered escort kwagcina ke emaphephandabeni kuthiwa ubulawele ubuzimuzim cannibalism. Abambulala abagcina begwethiwe bambulala uma sebebuzwa ukuthi benzeleni ukuZanele lokhu bakuveza ukuthi kulula ukubamba ubulale umuntu wesifazane. And they said in their own words, bambamba, bamrape, bamqhinya, bamqoba, bampheka, bamudla. Ngo-2018, of which I believe ukuthi young women that are tuned in with us here today, they are familiar with this case. 2018, uThabani Mzolo shot and killed his ex-girlfriend, uZolile Khumalo, owayefunda eMangosuthu. I-emphasis lana ibe khona ku-ex-girlfriend uZolile wabulawela ukuthi usethe Thabani uyangihlukumeza senganele angisathanda ukuthandana nawe wafika ke wahamba wafike wamdubulela eRes. Program director, I use these cases just as an example that this is nothing new. It has always been happening. Women have been the target. Women have been killed, and in what we're seeing is a heightened media reporting. Last year we had a painful case, Uyinene, but I want to share with this committee and with the participants today that on the day of the funeral ka Uyinene, which was also flighted, siyayibona kubo bonke omabonakude, eMlazi eMalukazi, on the very same day, kwakuwumngcwabo wentombazane edutshulwe yabulawa yisoka layo. On the very same day, here in KwaZulu-Natal, in Umlazi eMalukazi, we were burying a victim of gender-based violence. In my next slide, can I get the next slide, please? Thank you. A highlight here is that every day we see incidents of gender-based violence. There is gender-based violence that's taking place in workplaces, and this is not reported enough. There is GBV happening in rural areas where there are challenges with access and knowledge of using technology to publicize cases. What we have also seen here is cases get publicized because women themselves bayazishuta bazifake kwi-social media. Then, only then, kube la igeta i-attention khona. You find that there's a case that there's a crime that was committed maybe 3 years back, but nobody knew about it until someone put it in social media. Then bese iyaziwa. What about cases that are happening in areas where there are challenges with technology? I want to tell you today that as we are sitting here, there's cases that are have been happening in rural areas. Last week, a man was sentenced to life sentence for raping his own children. He was continuously raping abantwana bakhe lo baba abazalayo lena emangozi. Kwaze kwaba khona oyedwa okwazi ukubaleka akhulume. Uthe mase ku-investigator i-case yakhona kwatholakala ukuthi the other one ubaba ubemdlwengula to the extent ukuthi waze waba nomntwana kababa. This has been happening. I-case yakhona has been in court for quite some time, but because it's a case that happened in an area where people are not au fair with the social media, so i-case yakhona ibingakaze ibe kwi-public eye. Again, cases that are taking place, violence against women, young women in this case, happening in institutions of higher learning. I've put lapho ngabhala ukuthi marks for sex. Ngicela ukuthi sibe very sibukisise kahle le terminology, marks for sex. I hear a lot of people saying sex for marks. An emphasis for me is marks for sex, because the dialogue should be around who is the victim here. So if we say sex for marks, we are putting it as if this young woman who ends up in a position and find herself in a situation where she is ending up having to give sex to the lecturer, as if she's the one that has offered. Whereas the dialogue is, she has been offered marks. If you have sex with me, I will give you these marks. Gender-based violence perpetrated against people with disabilities. This is also an area that we need to pay our attention on. People with disabilities are so exposed, and they become victims because in most cases, if, for example, a blind woman is unable to identify umuntu omdlwengulile, umuntu wesimame ongaphilile kahle ekhanda, even in court ubufakazi bakhe abustendi because kuke kuthiwe akanayo ingqondo. There's a lot of violence that is taking place perpetrated against people with disabilities. My time. How long do I have?
The presentation is very interesting, but we are working against time. Sizocela ngiyabona ama-slides asemancane, sizocela nje ukuthi uzame ukwapha. Yes, but also speak to the mic, because we are having some sessions where you are cutting. So sizocela ukuthi usondele na mic. Yes, siyabonga.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Uma ngabe ke program director nami ngididizelwa i-technology, it goes back to my issue of people of people that are not au fait with technology. Violence that is taking place in churches is also another area that needs to be addressed. We've seen cases of umfundisi Omothoso. We've seen cases currently during lockdown. Umama umfundisi obulewe wayolahla ehlathini. These are the issues that we need to look at. Rights of women against against racism. The Constitution of South Africa has provision for protection and security of all people. We have Domestic Violence Act, we have Sexual Offences Act. Most importantly, what I want to just mention is the issue of the protection order and also the VEP and shelter assistance. Protection orders has been seen as one of the things that also put women in a position where a man ends up killing them. What is important here for me to outline is how is the protection order enforced? And how is a woman then, after having issued out a protection order, how do they get protected? That takes us to the issue of the shelters. We have shelters in South Africa. We have seen government putting in, even recently now, there's a whole lot of budgets that has been channeled into the shelters. We are saying that as young women, there are services that you can use. In this instance, there are shelters that are available there. Again, in conclusion, I want to say that as a country, we have legal obligation to eradicate gender inequality. We have signed international documents, international and regional documents that we need to respond to and respect. But as a province, the province under the Office of the Premier is currently developing a framework and a program that will look into ensuring that the province has gender equality. And specifically, they are currently working on the gender-based violence strategy. I've heard when you were introducing a program director, all the formations that are attending this seminar today. I want to invite them to ensure that those that are coming from civil society, make sure that you form part of the gender-based violence strategy formulation, so that as a province we are able to ensure that the strategy is not a document that is developed by people in beautiful offices, but it is a strategy that that is informed by all participants and by all citizens of the province. Again, in conclusion, 365 days of action and violence against women and children. This is very important. We have seen as a gender commission that issues that impact gender-based violence are seen or are popularized during specific calendar months in the year. You will hear everyone talking about violence against women in August or in November during 16 days of activism. We campaign and we promote the 365 days of action to end violence against women. Ngiyabonga kakhulu, Program Director.
Sibonge kakhulu, Ms. Ncwane, for your presentation. I think it has raised a lot of points of engagement that young women need to engage in. You've raised some interesting facts around issues of the impact of COVID-19 on young women, as well as the issues of gender-based violence. I'm reminded by a presentation that was done by the Minister of Basic Education, Umamu Enji. She had mentioned that during this period of COVID-19, they've picked up that there are a number of young women learners who have fallen pregnant. And for us, you can really look at the nature of the environment that young women are finding themselves in. So there is a lot that the young women in this platform will engage on. But also, I think of importance is the role that CGE has to play in advancing and enabling legislative environment, because there are policies that must change. There are some acts, because one of the things that you've mentioned is the fact that we need to look into the enforcement of the protection orders. We know that many young women are dying with these protection orders in their hands. So those are some of the things that we need to be engaging on. Let us then move. Thank you very much for that presentation from the Commission on Gender Equality. We are clear about its role. And as young women, we know that your doors are open for us. Let us move on to the next presentation, which will be done by Dr. Phalanndwa from the Department of Health. We know that we are in a global pandemic, and its main effects to us is regarding our health. It's affecting e-health. So Dr. Phalanndwa will be taking us through COVID-19, comorbidities, sexual reproduction, and young women's health in general. We are giving you 10 minutes strictly. I'm going to be strict about time now because we don't have much time. We also need to allocate enough time for the engagement so that young women can be heard. Over to you, Dr. Phalanndwa.
Thank you very much, Program Director, for giving me this opportunity to represent Department of Health in the issue pertaining to sexual and reproductive health, COVID-19. Honorable Chair, Pastor, representative from all the departments, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all.
Thank you. Sorry, Dr. Phalanndwa, is it possible for us to see you?
Yes.
Okay, can you put your camera on?
My camera is on.
Okay.
Can you see me?
I can see you now. Thank you very much. You may proceed.
Okay, can I please have a presentation? I think all of us, we know that this is a difficult time, especially for the young ones, because of this social distancing to slow the spread of COVID-19. They feel that they are cut off from their friends, school, and other long planned events that they've planned for the whole year because everything has been postponed. So, however, young girls must stick to the schedule. As usual, we've got online learning that they need to stick to. They must also allow themselves to do scheduled time, and then they must share information about what is happening so that they distress themselves. They must not be isolating themselves, because the other issue is that isolating yourself from other people can also lead to the issue of depression. They must talk about their own feelings. Can I please have the second slide? So we'll dwell more on the issue of personal hygiene. Like every day, we talk about personal hygiene is about washing hands, keeping the body clean, brushing your teeth, covering the mouth when coughing. And now, because of this pandemic, because of this COVID-19, we know that people tend to turn lazy, and then they end up not taking care of their personal hygiene. And then when becoming a teenager, your body change, and in order to stay healthy, personal hygiene also need to be a habit to change. You need to focus on yourself, even though it's during this COVID-19. We know that if you feel that you're not going anywhere, you can skip a day without bathing yourself. And then again, an important aspect for girl personal hygiene is menstrual hygiene management. There are still a number of girls worldwide who face problems during their menstrual cycle. And then menstruation is often treated as a taboo. People feel that, young girls feel that they don't need to talk about it. They hide it. Can I have the next slide, please? So many girls are embarrassed and do not know how to best manage their menstruation, nor whom to talk to, as they are ashamed of their monthly period. They are often bullied at school by boys when they are on periods. And due to this health problem, they end up due to the lack of sanitation at home or at school, lack of affordability, sanitary products may push menstrual girls temporary or permanent out of school because they don't have pads, they can't take care of themselves. And then again, inadequate menstrual hygiene management negatively impacts the girls' rise to education. So what is it that we need to do? We need to improve water and sanitation and care, therefore have a massive positive impact on the lives of these young women. Next slide. So when a young girl grows up, there is a stage called puberty when the girl's body starts to change and develop into an adult body due to hormones being produced. That's where now we talk about sexual and reproductive health. And then during this stage, girls may have mood swings. We may see them feeling depressed, have low esteem, and usually this stage starts when they're 8 to 16. Hence, I said that due to this lockdown, we need really to talk to our young girls, because that's where sometimes they turn into depression. They start developing the breasts, they gain weight, their body become heavier, they start menstruating, and the hair start to grow in all area of their body, including pubic area and their armpits. Next slide. So hair will grow everywhere, and a lot of girls notice that they have smell under their arms, and then they've got odor elsewhere. And what is it that we need to do to get rid of this smell? They need to keep themselves healthier. They need to keep themselves clean to lessen the smell. They need to take a bath at least twice a day if possible. Especially now, I'll always refer to COVID-19 because we are all in isolation. Use a deodorant to keep the odor, and then because a healthy body image means feeling pretty, satisfied with where you look, appreciate your body for its capability and accepting its imperfections. So we need to keep ourselves clean as young girls. Next slide. So we need to have management for our menstruation period. For example, adolescent girls must use clean material to absorb or collect menstrual blood. They must change their pads in a private area during menstruation. And then during this time, they must use soap, water for washing their body as required, and have access to facility to dispose or use menstrual management or material. If you go to some of the schools, you'll see sanitary pads scattered all over the place because they don't know how to dispose. So it is our time that we need to teach our young girls about personal hygiene, especially during the menstrual periods, because that's where we've got hygiene issues. Next slide. So there are a few practical tips that I need to talk to the girls with. For example, they need to use unclean sanitary pads. It will pose a risk like bacteria can cause local infection to travel up to their vagina, enter their uterus if they are not changing their pads usually. And then they must use clean sanitary product through clean your reasonable cloth pads. And then they must wrap them when they dispose them all the time. Changing pads infrequently. Health risk: if you don't change your pads frequently, the wet pads can cause irritation, which can lead to infection, or if it breaks your skin. So you need to change your pads regularly, every 2 to 6 hours, depending on your flow. Next slide. Insertion of unclean material into the vagina. When you go around schools giving health education or talking to young girls in different districts, young girls has got this tendency of saying that if they've got appointment with the boyfriend today and she is menstruating, they can take a sponge, put it into the vagina so that it blocks the blood flow. We've got issues where girls put a snake into their vagina, and then they say that they want to develop that rash, which will then make them have pimples that will cause them to have a tight vagina. So all these things pose bacterial risk, which can access their cervix, and at the end of the day, when they grow, when they continue with their lives, they end up having cervical cancers. So they must never insert unclean materials into their vagina. Using tampons during time of blood, highly absorbent tampons during time of blood. This is toxic, which caused by strain of the bacteria that produce a toxin in your body. So you must change your tampon regularly. Do not use tampon when you are only spotting. You can use a normal pads if they are available for you, and change them regularly. Next slide. Wiping from back to front following urination or defecation. It increases chances of bacteria from the anus being introduced to the vagina. So this is something that we usually talk to our girls about, to say our reproductive system is very much sensitive. So when you wipe, you need to wipe from the front going to the back. And then having unprotected sex. Since we are at lockdown, we are saying people are on lockdown. And then if it happens that a young woman engage herself on sexual and reproductive sex, the possibility is that, number one, they will have sexual transmitted infection, or they will have HIV or hepatitis, which is HPV, that will cause cancer. So they must always use dual protection when having sexual intercourse, which is now we are singing a gospel to say you must use a condom and a certain contraceptive. So I heard the honorable speaker saying that young women are having challenges when they go to our facilities. They are turned back because healthcare workers are saying they are concentrating on the issue of COVID. Family planning contraceptives are there. All the checkups, cervical cancer screening, those who need termination of pregnancy is being done in our facilities. So they need to go there. They must stop doing illegal termination of pregnancy, because that's where now we are having high maternal death in the province due to issues related to illegal abortion. So using of disposal of sanitary material, I have said that before to say whenever you dispose your sanitary, it needs to be wrapped, it needs to be thrown in a dustbin. We don't need to expose ourselves as young girls, especially now during COVID-19, because we are living with the young ones and then everybody is at home. So let's try to take care of ourselves. Next slide, please. Frequent douching, forcing liquid into the vagina, can facilitate the introduction of bacteria into your uterus. There are so many things that our young girls are doing outside there. So health facilities are there. Go to your health facility, talk to your healthcare worker, and then again, we as parents, we are saying, let's adopt each other's children. If I feel that I'm not comfortable to talk to my young girl or to my teenager, it's better for us then to send our teenagers or our young girls to be adopted by a friend of mine who she can feel easily to talk to them. Lack of hand washing after changing sanitary, this is other issues. But now, because we are at COVID-19, we are always saying that people must use sanitizers. If you don't have water at that moment, you can still use your sanitizer in order to prevent the infections such as hepatitis or thrush. Again, unprotected sex. This is a sexual and reproductive health issues that need its own day, that we need to talk about it, HIV and STI infection and unwanted pregnancy. And honestly, if you look at our statistics as Department of Health, 10 to 19 years, we've got high number of teenagers that are reporting in our facility due to unplanned pregnancy. If you go to our clinics, the lines are so long for antenatal care because of our teenagers who are engaging themselves to sexual intercourse without using protection. So we are saying, in order to stay healthy, in order to prevent unwanted pregnancy, let us use dual protection. Let us use condom as young girls. Let's protect ourselves. Let's not sell our bodies. Let's respect ourselves so that then we continue with our study and then achieve at the end of the day. Next slide. In conclusion, as a girl, when you reach puberty, their bodies change, their cleaning habits need to change too. More than half of the world's population will at some point in their life menstruate, yet lack of menstrual hygiene can affect women's girl access to education and public participation. So let's talk about it, young girls, to whoever you feel free to talk it. Take pride to your maturity and act responsible. Be assertive, live healthy, and be prosperous in your life. Thank you.
Siyabonga kakhulu Dokotela. The presentation that you have given us is very insightful. And one thing that as young women we should really be grateful is that we have advanced in terms of advocating for the removal of tax on sanitary towels, because you have highlighted how important it is for us to change our pads regularly to prevent any infections. But that depends on the availability of those sanitary towels. So we thank our committees such as the Quality of Life, because it means that to a certain extent young women have been heard when they are saying that such products are not accessible to us as young women, and they are a necessity to our life. It's not a privilege, it's a necessity for us to have, because we are going menstrual periods every month as young women. And that also impacts the attendance of young women to school. If they don't have those resources to purchase some sanitary towels, it therefore limits the attendance at the school. We know that last year, the road that we have traveled is really commendable. Minister Tito Mboweni announced that there is not going to be any value-added tax on sanitary towels, but we are continuing to advocate for them to be accessible to young women, for them to be able to purchase them at a smaller amount than the ones that we are currently purchasing, the amount that we are currently purchasing those pads at. So thank you very much for the presentation. Sexual and reproductive health of young women is very important. And I'm sure that young women in this platform will have a number of issues that they want to raise and engage on when it comes to issues of sexual and reproductive health, especially the one that you've mentioned. You know, everyone is aware of it, but no one wants to speak about it. The manner in which young women want to appease their partners. They insert foreign objects into their private parts, which later affects them in terms of their whole reproductive health. Thank you very much, Doctor. We will now move to the next presentation that we will be receiving from the Department of Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs. Miss Naomi Donaldson will give us a presentation on how government is economically empowering young women and the youth in general. We've discussed, Naomi, how important it is for young women to be liberated economically. When we are talking about economic liberation in our lifetime, young women must be at the center of their economic liberation to ensure that they are able to sustain themselves and move out of abusive relationships. Over to you, Nomi. I'm going to be strict again with time. I'm giving you strictly 10 minutes for your presentation. Please adhere to that time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Program Director. I hope I'm audible and you can see me as well.
Audible and visible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Chairperson, Honorable Mbatha-Cele, Program Director, members, colleagues and participants, good morning. My name is Naomi Donaldson, representing the Department of Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs. And today I'll be sharing with you youth and women initiatives that the department is currently running with and has for economic empowerment of both of youth and women overall. Program Director, seeing that the time is very minimal now, please allow me to just focus on the salient parts without diverting from the important part of the presentation, whereby we speak to the initiatives or the opportunities that are available for young women.
Yes, sorry, Nomi. I will allow you to do so, but it's just to remind the attendees to please switch off your videos. They are disturbing this platform. It's a reminder for all members to switch off their videos. Only Nomi must be on the platform. Over to you again.
Thank you, Program Director. Without diverting again, we need to at least go and look into the impacts that COVID has had on the economy before we visit the important part of today is the initiatives and the opportunities that are available. Talking and discussing what is available is really at a very inopportune time, Program Director. Our economy is currently under siege, and it's because of the COVID-19 pandemic as right now. But before that, we were having a lot of challenges with trade wars and rating agencies, unemployment, the energy crisis, the declining exports and imports of finished goods, the business in distress, and monopolies, just to name a few. COVID has now made the issues a bit worse for the economy, and unemployment is now expected to surge to about 30% in South Africa and 27% in KwaZulu-Natal. So we do have a challenge. Being that as it may, we need to focus and realize which are the youth concentrated sectors within our economy, which is your manufacturing, your construction, your wholesale and retail, your transport, your financial and business services, your community and social and personnel, your CSP, your private households. Program Director, I know the person who is screening and the presentation might have a problem because on the COVID one, I'm just going to speak to it broadly, not going through slide by slide because of the time constraints that I have. Then the slide that I'm going on to now is the sectoral impact of COVID-19. We have low, high, and moderate sectors. Currently, the high-rated sectors that are affected by COVID-19 will be your tourism, your hotels and restaurants, your aviation, your creative industry, your informal economy, your personal services, your mining and quarrying, your taxes, your wholesale and retail, and your real estate agents. Then how do we plan on reconstructing this and fixing these issues? So as a department, we're trying to formulate a program of action to minimize the risk of transmission of the coronavirus amongst workers, both in the formal and informal sectors. Also to create a climate conducive for the revival and expansion of existing businesses. And then in the main, to focus on youth and women. Also to streamline regulations and expedite investments and infrastructure development, and also to create an environment that is conducive for all businesses to thrive, and also to identify areas of greatest impact per sector. There are now also policy considerations of this. Your economic transformation, what is the priority for us? The remodeling of the KwaZulu-Natal economy post-COVID-19 crisis will ensure that hello? There's a sound that's interrupting me, Program Director.
Sorry,
Hello?
I'm trying to pick up who has unmuted their gadgets, but attendees, please, once again, please can you switch off your videos and please switch off your mics. You may continue, Nomi.
Okay. On the special economic transformation is to recalibrate the economy to ensure that people and businesses thrive, irrespective of where they live or work. On regional integration, to take advantage of the South African market, which will soon be expanding through the African continent. And then with the fourth industrial revolution, the ICT and connectivity, is to expedite the rolling out of broadband infrastructure throughout the province, to fast track the setting up of ICT and free Wi-Fi, and also to have more of the electronic meeting platforms. With localization, the strategy will really focus on the following key priorities. It's encouraging local innovation, building human capital, supporting local companies to participate in the value chain, to promote us as consumers to buy local, and also export development. The emerging key interventions per sector for tourism, it will be important that more events are hosted after the COVID-19 or post-lockdown, and then focus on key projects that will be of iconic stature, more domestic marketing used by the use of influencers, and sharing and showcasing unique products and stuff like that. With the informal economy, it's more to support them, registering, giving permits and appropriate trading certificates and making sure that their businesses are clean, and giving them the access to your ICT, access to finance as well. With land and agriculture, the intervention that is most important in that one is fast tracking the execution of the land reform farms, also the mechanization and production of inputs and relief support, and also giving access to markets and support to the agro-logistics and the rollout of the economic drought relief and locally buying commercial and small-scale farms. Now, Program Director and the person assisting me with the presentation, I would like to now a bit focus on the youth-targeted interventions that we have in the department for young people and women. The first one will be your national and provincial government internships and learnerships. That one, Program Director, has been rolled out by a number of public entities and departments, whereby the internship program timeframe has now been extended from 12 months to a 24-month long internship. So that one has been an achievement, because we are really rolling out and running with that one as the provincial government. Then we have your youth technical skills and training and placement program. Through this program, the department has over the years implemented one of the biggest technical training and placement programs, which has guaranteed placements within commerce and industries for young people. Over 16,000 youth trained on various technical skills and were placed in employment since 2008 to date. For the 2019-2020 financial year, there were 2,800 young people who were trained in entrepreneurship, technical skills, which are your home buildings, your core physical hands-on skills. In the case, it was the home building, and the business skills, whereby we share financial information and we financial management trainings that we have. And of that training for the past financial year, there were 1,200 young people benefited from that program. Then we have another program on technical skills and job programs. One of the examples is the EPWP. 4,000 work opportunities were created through the Good Green Deeds. There are currently 93 beneficiaries in a 12-month road transport program learnership. that is being rolled out by the departments. And then there's another program that is run by the Department of Transport, where there are 3,282 young people that were employed on a 24-month contract under the Vukuyibambe routine road maintenance program. And then the National Youth Service Program, facilitated by the Department of Transport as well, currently being implemented in Tugela and Umkhanyakude, with a total of 780 youth beneficiaries for that program. Then we have an apprenticeship program where there are 92 professional engineers that have been assisted to register as professionals through the World Program, and currently 224 young technicians and 34 young engineers with 2 technologists are undergoing training through the World Program. Then there are 26 beneficiaries on the current 3 years apprenticeship program on that one. Then we have the job placements and private sector initiative incentives. Hello?
Yes, I would request that you wrap up. Your 10 minutes is about to end.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Then, Program Director, we have a move to the enterprise development programs, which are more important to the economy right now. We have funding mechanisms within the department that we are rolling out. One of them is in partnership with the Office of the Premier, which is the KZN Youth Empowerment Fund, where young people ages 18 to 35 are assisted with funding for their businesses. Then we have a program with EDTEA, the EDTEA Enterprise Development Fund, whereby 274 youth-owned businesses have been funded. And through the Operation Vula Fund, that is within the department as well, there has been 18,351,000 that has been used and assisted for 15 existing small enterprises. Program Director, ngifake pressures nama programs amaningi lana. I hope you did share the program with the participants. We also have programs, sector-focused programs, your youth in agriculture, your youth in film, your youth in maritime, youth in information and technology. There are achievements there, and we've been rolling out programs. There are programs for young women where we assist them with agro processing. We assist them with clothing and textile. So in the main, there are a lot of programs, but it will be important that young people participate and speak to us, share with us, contact us. I'm reachable at all times, and I can also share and expand more on our programs with them. They can email me or contact me on my cell phone number, which is 076 943 5811. I'll repeat, 076 943 5811. Thank you, Chairperson and Program Director.
Thank you very much, Nomi. And I think the commitment that we need to make right now is that the presentation will be circulated to all the attendees of this seminar so that we are able to look closely at the programs that the government is providing for young women. It's always important to bring to the forth, Nomi, the programs that you are doing, because you'll find ukuthi umuntu omusha osemkhanyakude uyakhala nayo ukuthi cha akazi ukuthi uhulumeni ubenzelana abantu abasha ubenzelana abantu besifazane. So here we are seeing a number of programs that the Department of Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs is having for young people. And we are saying that young people, through the attendees of this seminar, must take it down to the grassroots. Programs that are presented here, they must be our foot soldiers in terms of spreading the message to other young women who are not here. We will now move to the last presentation from the Office of the Premier. We are having in this platform Nwabisa Dano, who will take us through the KZN Youth Fund that Nomi has mentioned in her previous presentation and how it benefits young women in the province. While Nwabisa is doing the presentation, I will request the young women in this platform to raise their hands so that I can be able to start noting, because after the presentation, this is the last presentation that we're having, we'll then be having a session where we'll be engaging on the different topics that have been raised above through the presentations. So we will request young women to start raising their hands for noting. And then once Nwabisa is done with the presentation, we will then engage in the documents. But we must start raising our hands. Over to you, Nwabisa. Can you take us through the Youth Fund? As young women, we've got bright ideas that we need the KZN government to assist us with so that we'll be able to implement those programs. Thanks, Nwabisa.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Masiko. And greetings to the Chairperson, Honorable Mbatha-Cele, and Honorable Swarboy Dombela, and colleagues who are here with us, as well as participants. I'm not sure if the presentation was okay. Thank you. The KZN Youth Fund, the KZN Youth Development and Empowerment Fund, was established following the pronouncement made by the Premier at the 2018 State of the Province address. The Premier announced that we will be launching a KwaZulu-Natal Youth Development Fund early in 2018. The fund will provide seed funding for qualifying youth business development and will be able to accept private social investment, corporate social investment contributions. This is part of the concerted effort by the provincial government to take an enabling policy environment for youth development and empowerment. The promotion of the youth enterprises is an important and a significant strategy for fostering economic participation amongst youth, young people. For many young people, employment opportunities in existing public and private sector are insufficient to meet the demand. Employment must be found in emerging SMEs sector. The purpose of the fund is to provide access to finance for the young and KZN and create employment opportunity amongst the entrepreneurs in young through entrepreneurship. Then the Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs EDTEA is responsible for the management fee for the Youth Fund. The provincial departments to capitalize the fund through their youth budget. To build entrepreneurial and technical skills, to nurture the talents and experiences among young people, to enhance their capacity to participate the economy and community life, to ensure that young people are recognized as a key target group of need and resource in the development of small businesses within national, provincial, and local economies. The fund, to fund young people who require, the provincial government, the previous financial year, pledged 50 million. Then in total, it was 70 million because EDTEA added 20 million. Then when we finalized everything, then we said it will be to fund, it will start from 50,000. It will be between 50,000 to 2 million. Sorry, I nearly said it will be 50 million. It will be 50,000 to 2 million for then is to maximize the access of young people to business for those planning to enter the economic space, to provide financial and non-financial resources that young people require to operate profitable businesses. As I mentioned earlier, that it was OTP set aside 50, and then EDTEA it was 20 million. In total, it was 70 million. The fund principles are as follows. It's transparency, fairness, equity, developmental, and redress. The criteria of accessing a grant, I'm trying to be fast as I can, Chairperson. You must be a South African youth from KwaZulu-Natal. Have a profit motive business, and it must be sustainable. Principal place of business operations must be in KwaZulu-Natal province. Be a registered entity or cooperative, partnership, or professional incorporated company. 80% of the business must be youth-owned. The ownership structure must not have been changed within the last 12 months. Majority of employees must be KZN youth. Yes, Chair.
Can you assist us? Which slide are you on so that IT can zoom us and take us
criteria of accessing a grant, Chair?
Slide number?
Slide number 9.
Okay. IT, can you please take us to slide number 9?
I'm trying to.
Okay, thank you. Proceed.
Okay. Then I'm on slide number 10 now, Chair. On the target market. The owners must demonstrate the involvement and also must have a registered business, as well as must have the relevant management experience. The utilization of fund, Chair, it must be under the areas of finance and the items, must be tangible assets, property, equipment, and machinery, intangible assets, buy-ins and buy-outs, goodwills, working capital, operational cost to a maximum of 10% of the approved fund. Then there's that line, Chair. It's very important. The KZN government reserves the right to equipment which could be transferable to another youth business should the initially funded entity cease to operate within the first 3 years. Chairperson, here, those who got the funding in the last financial year, they are with us. They've signed the contract for the next 3 years. We will check their businesses if they are still operating, and if there are challenges, we'll try and assist them. I'll get to that slide. If really it comes to a point where even the person is not assisting us, and there's nothing that we can do, we will take that equipment and use it to other people or whatever, Chair. Then the exclusions, Chair, that we don't fund. It's alcohol and liquor sales as a standalone businesses, tobacco as a standalone businesses, gambling and brothels and any other activity which is considered to be illegal in terms of the laws of the Republic of South Africa. We don't fund those, Chair. Targeted priority sectors, it's agriculture, green economy, franchises, manufacturing, transport, mineral and chemical beneficiation, tourism and hospitality, science, technology and innovation, blue economy, education, other services like catering, security, tourism and tourism and hospitality. Yeah, those are the sectors, Chair. The process flow, I will summarize them, Chair. There are 3 committees. We have investment team. We also have evaluation committee, as well as the grant approval committee. So the investment team, this is the personnel are responsible for the due diligence. Those who applied, they will tell you there were people who visited their sites and they checked even before they visited their site. Some of them, they received the calls. They were dealing with the applications on a daily basis. Those were the investment team. Then the evaluation committee, where the investment team now, they will do reports and report to the evaluation committee. Then the evaluation committee will then report to the approval committee, where they will make their recommendations whether we approve or not. If there are any amendments that need to be made, we do that. Those are the committees. Then there's post-investment team. The post-investment check, we then realize that, as I mentioned earlier, that we will be working with these beneficiaries, and we still continue. We need to have this team. We then developed a document that is post-investment document, where we started some of the work from February to March. We started by doing the road shows, working with other departments as well, where we'll be trying to assist young people with giving them information. It's an information share. It was an information sharing session on the funding models that are there, not only with the Youth Fund and other departments as well as the entities, because we discovered that people, they think it's only the Youth Fund and NYDA and only that can assist them. There are other, as Nomi was mentioning, even other departments, they do they have funding models. Chair. So we,
as you learned, Nwiza.
Okay. Give me 5 minutes extra, Chair. I'll go to the
2 minutes.
Chair, there's one that is important of the bursaries, Chair. Okay, the post-investment, Chair. There's a post-investment team. The team have started conducting the visits to the sites of those 53 beneficiaries. For now, we visited 32. Out of 53, we are still continuing to visit more. We received 2,342 applications in 2019. We funded 53 youth businesses that were approved. We are still going to advertise for the 2020 financial year for the youth fund. Chair, I won't go to but for the reasons for the declines of applications, it's the applications not meeting the youth age, applications not residing in KwaZulu-Natal or their businesses, incomplete business plans, projects not read for executions, no approvals, permits, or licenses, existing businesses with no financial records, no bank records to prove viability of the businesses, applications mainly for working capital. Then we have a Premier's discretionary bursary. Can I go through this, Chair? It's important. The Office of the Premier embarked on the external bursary program in 2011. Youth Chief Directorate responsible for administering and managing bursaries awarded to deserving youth study at various tertiary institutions in outside the province. The bursary currently covers registration, tuition, accommodation, transport, books, and meals. In 2019, the Office of the Premier funded a total of 246 students. The Office of the Premier awards all its bursaries on a discretionary basis. The awarding of the bursaries is guided by the policy for granting discretionary bursaries to external candidates. The objectives of this policy are to provide financial assistance to indigent, orphaned youth, and vulnerable deserving youth. Applications are identified through poverty eradication strategic plans, Operation Sukuma Sakhe, walk-ins, and referrals. Youth between the ages of 18 to 35, South African citizens who are residents of KwaZulu-Natal, students who are academically deserving, all qualifications are considered. Applications, parents or guardians must demonstrate limited means of paying for studies at applicant. Proof of income is required, or SASSA documentation or letter of Department of Labor. The bursary covers the following.
The commitment that we are making, Nwabisa, is that this presentation will be circulated. I think you've been able to successfully raise what is important for young women to capture currently. So this presentation will therefore be circulated once we are done with the session.
Okay. For more information, they can call me, Chair, 083 796 0118.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nwabisa.
Thank you.
We can see that the Office of the Premier is not really resting in their laurels. There is a lot of work that they are doing to empower young people in general and young women in particular. And we are calling upon all young women to capture this moment and seize the opportunity and come closer to the Office of the Premier so that they are able to benefit Kulama programs because they are made for them. We will then request Unomfundo Masimula. I can see that the hands have been raised. I've noted all of those hands, but briefly we'll request Unomfundo Masimula, a young businesswoman, to just take us through some of her work that she is doing. I will give her 3 minutes. Nomfundo. Okay, while Nomfundo is getting ready, let us then move to Keketo from BMF to share briefly with young women in this platform what is it that BMF is doing to capacitate young women in this province. Is Keketo here? All right, let's move. Let's request for a representative from the South African Police Services who is in this platform to also share some of the work and that USAPS is doing, especially because we've been talking a lot about issues of gender-based violence, the manner in which we are handling the protection orders, the Thuthuzela care centers, the rape kits in the police stations. We'll request the representative from SAPS in this platform to briefly share with us. All right. I don't know whether it's a sound problem or the members are not in this platform. Let us then move to the hands that have been raised. We have Unontobeko Zulu, who will be followed by Nonopha-Cele, who will be followed by Ukayelihle, who will be followed by Andile Mabaso, and then Siphokuhle Nzimande, and then Phumzile Mgcina, Zoleka Mthembu, and Princess Ngcobo. Those are the hands that I have seen that have been raised. If there are any other hands, I will take them as we proceed. Nontobeko Zulu, each participant will be given 2 minutes to raise their question or a comment or any contributions on those presentations that we have listened to above. Nontobeko Zulu, over to you.
Yes. Hello. I'm sorry. I can't hear you, but I can see you moving your lips. I just got disconnected there, so I'm sure you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Okay, now I can hear you as well. I just want to say just one thing. Thank you for all the presentations that were done. But there's just one thing that I would like to contribute on, and that was based on what Dr. Phalanndwa mentioned about trying to remove EDTEA's comorbidities. So what I was thinking, how about we focus on local production of pads instead of remover EDTEA's? How about focusing on local production and then subsidize such a business? I know of a woman in Nambiti who has a business. She's producing pads. The name of her business is Lakeswa Pads. So she's also a young woman. So what I was thinking is that how about we industrialize a business of producing pads, and if the government is subsidizing, then they can become much cheaper for the young women and focus on rural areas for such businesses. That's what I wanted to say. In addition to that, Ms. N. Donaldson mentioned a lot of initiatives and programs that the government is doing, but it's so unfortunate to put abako visible. They are not known. They are not accessible. It's not easy to get such information if you're not exposed to the platform as you are. And I did not get the number Ganwap's because she just mentioned it once and
Thank you very much, Nonopha. And I think your comment and question would cut across both health and then economic development as well as Office of the Premier in terms of funding young women-led initiatives that seek to produce these sanitary towels for us, because we are the consumers of these sanitary towels. It's a very relevant comment. Thank you very much. We'll then move to Kayelihle.
Ngiyabingelela basohlelo ngibingelele ko honorable ukhalihle lokhulumayo. Ngizwile kakhulu sikhuluma ngendaba ye gender based violence and siyathola ukuthi our country is sekuyindawo of violence isikhathi esiningi. Kusekho lapha umuntu wesifazane nengane yentombazane esiphethe khona around our country. I would like ukuthi uhulumeni ukuthi wonke ama-proactive services for women and girls, they must be classified as essentials during COVID-19. And this is about high quality.
Yeah, I think you have a connection problem, or it's your mic. Can you speak up so that we can hear you? We had a problem hearing you there.
Okay. Ngiyazwakala manje?
Yes, uyazwakala.
Okay, ngiyabonga. Okunye bengicela ukuthi our government and our communities bebe nesandla kakhulu in the gender-based violence, like even our community gatekeepers, including our religious, our traditional women, youth, including abantu besilisa and our boys, who will lead aloma programs lawo ukuze kuvikeleke umuntu wesifazane nengane yesifazane ma. Bese kuba i-solution engicabangayo ukuthi to amend ama-laws after South Africa. Sorry?
Yes, so can you wrap up?
Yeah, it's to amend ama-laws after South Africa. So I understand that we've got ama-correctional services lapho khona kusebenziswa isimilo somuntu, but asinawo amajele. Amajele lapho ngempela khona umuntu azoba punished for izinto zakhe. Like yes ma.
I think inkinga inkulu ngesound asikuzwa kahle. Into engizocela usenzele yona ngizocela ukuthi laphayana kwi-section yama comments usibhalele kahle laphayana i-comment lakho leyo gcina ngoba sizwa kahle kune challenge ngesound. Yes, so cela ukuthi pick it up lapho i-comment yakho. I think it's a network problem that you are experiencing. We will then move. Siyabonga kakhulu ke Khayelihle. Sizocela ke uAndile Mabaso. Sipho kuhle Nzimande.
Ngezwakala.
Andile Mabaso siyakuzwa Andile, you can make a contribution yakho.
Ngizuba mude nguAndile Mabaso ngibingelele honorable guest wethu. Issue ye gender based kuhlunyezwa besifazane neingane is I think it's a struggle whereby we need abantu besifazane abakhulile kunathi mhlambe we sizokhulumana khona either kuma district kuma province kodwa since kunesimo esikanjena I think kufuneka sizame at least evikini kube khona sibonakala khona sikhombisa ukuthi siyalona lento ezusisoshilo ephuma ukuthi we need abantu besilisa everyone sibe nama gatherings lelo hour lelo can make something ukhombisa ukuthi sisi against yonke lento because sekuyi fashion iya trenda and imbi iyabulala yenza ukuthi umuntu wesifazane kube ngazathi noma kuthuka kwenzakaleni but into yakhe into ye dignity yakhe kube ngathi asiziphethe kahle because ubezwa abanye bekhuluma indaba zokuthi it's because siyabadlisa something, but akona lokho, it's because siyacindezeleka and into ekade yenzeka from omama bethu, from abantu abadala kwethu belobe bekezela into engekho right lokuthiwa babekezela. So I think into serious, and we need to take it serious, whereby siyenza program every week la khona kuthiwa khona noma an hour noma 30 minutes la khona kuthiwa abantu besifazane let's have that a moment yokuthi siyalwa nalesi simo esikhona. Ngiyabonga.
Siyabonga kakhulu Andile. Sipho Kuhle Nzimande. Asidlule Phumzile Mgcina.
Sanibonani.
Sawubona Sipho Kuhle. Siyakuzwa. Yes.
Oh, gender-based violence. Gender-based violence is a very serious issue, and South Africa is one of those countries where it has increased repeatedly during this.
Sipho Kuhle.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, I think government,
ngiyakuzwa uyabreaka kodwa ngicela sibuyele kuleya agreement ebesinayo nawe eqaleni kwi-chat ukuthi i-comment yakho uzoyibhala ngalena noma i-question uyibhale kwi-comment section ngizokufundela yona.
Okay, ngizoyibhala manje.
Okay, siyabonga. Sicela uZoleka Mthembu.
Sanibonani.
Yabona Zoleka, ungaqhubeka siyakuzwa.
Okay, gender-based violence, siyazi ukuthi it is a national crisis in South Africa, but then mina khona ngimzwile ukuthi angazi abaziwe bona labantu abakhomitha abenze abuse, but mina I'm under the question of which who abuses. Abantu aba-abusayo most of the time abantu esibajwayele akusiwona ama-stranger, but most of the time ama-partners, ama-family members, ama-work colleagues and ama-organizations. So siyazi ukuthi most of the time ama-victims of which are-abusiwe ayamazi umuntu om-abusile, nomuntu let's say bamdlwengulile uyamazi naye i-rapist yakhe, just because kuzotholakala ukuthi lo sisi baqeda kumdlwengula base bemthola eThekwini doesn't mean ukuthi lo muntu because behlala la manje setholakala eThekwini. Then amaphoyisa should look la around ukuthi endaweni la ahlala khona, because ngeke kuze kuqhamuke umuntu ongamazi nje enhloko amthathe ahambe um-abuser then amrape amlahle kude. Most of the time abantu esibaziyo lapho. Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, and then bengizocela inamba kaNwabisa because uyisho kanye zange sisayizwa. Thank you.
Okay, ke siyabonga Zoleka, sizoyiphinda inamba kaNwabisa nenamba kaNomi nayo sizophinde siyisho. Sizocela uNqobile Madlala. Okay, sizodlula ke si blessed as young women sino speaker usomlomo womkhandlu wase Mzumbe uMatho. Sizocela uMatho, siyasibona isandla sakho usiphakamisile yanga ke lasemzumbe, sizocela ukuthi unmute bese uyacomment.
Thank you very much, Program Director, my co-convener of the Young Women's Desk, Honorable Fikile Masigo, greetings to the Office of the Speaker, the Committee of Quality of Life, members of the Legislature that are present in this seminar of Young Women's Desk, Honorable Mbatha-Cele, Honorable Swart Boy, officials that are present in this seminar, all delegates that are here. As you have said, Chairperson, My name is Mashozi, but Chair, I am not here as the Speaker of the municipality. I am here as the Young Women's Desk Coordinator of KwaZulu-Natal. First, let me welcome all the presentations made by Obodadewethu abasilekelela kakhulu in this seminar. And also, thank you very much, Program Director, and also the legislators that they gave us this opportunity as Young Women's Desk to give them some issues on gender-based violence. Quickly, let me go to business and healthy, and also I will touch on gender-based violence that are affecting women and young women in particular. Kule pandemic esibion. I will go straight to the issue of business. Slalo, all small and medium and micro enterprises of this country are currently dealing with the devastating effects of COVID-19. From the manufacturing side to the market side. In this year, 2020, we have seen shift in the way businesses and organizations operate. In the wake of the deadly virus COVID, the negative impact can be wide-ranging and depends on the nature of it. The most obvious one would be on their revenues. As we all know, Honorable Masigo and all delegates that are here in this seminar, that our country right now is facing a challenge. The drop of revenue will have a trickle down effect on the economy, as all business people will struggle to adjust in their business strategies, especially one nations for economic turn down, and also in other things that has to do with their business. From closing down Chair productions and closing down our operations down to abasebenzi bonke. Since we all know ukuthi abasebenzi njengoba kunale COVID-19, they are also affected. Ikakhulukazi when people are not working, there is an increase of crime and poverty in the society. On the other side, delegates, our national and provincial government, since sifacene nalolu bhubhane lwale COVID-19, government wethu is trying his level best to give some reliefs. However, there is a light and the kulezi zinto esizibonayo if government esinikeza lama reliefs. So I want to say, Comrade Chair, as young women of South Africa, even though we are facing this pandemic, but let's applaud our government ruled by the African National Congress. But did our government is trying his level best to get some reliefs so that everyone who is in the business sector, if they are facing some challenges that I've mentioned earlier on, they're able to recover their challenges with on a lighter note, I'm not trying to be politicized or to be a politician in this seminar, but we need to be united, work together as much as we are facing this challenge, make sure that we give each other and we make sure that our business can turn back to umsebenzi omuhle okade senzelwa wona. So ngifisa ukusho sihlala ukuthi if we can be together and join our hands as South Africans, young women, Chair, we will be able to fight. Chair, I know I'm not going to take long, but I will quickly touch a minute in each presentation. Let me go to healthy and hygiene for young women and gender-based violence. The COVID-19 have a huge knock to women, young women, Honorable Masiko in particular. Sexual and reproductive healthy and gender-based violence services. Women and girls already, Comrade Chair, who are already in abusive situations, as we speak, they are now facing a situation where all of them, they are exposed. Rights. They even have a fear sometimes to go and access izinto ezokwazi ukubalekelela ukuze balwe nalezi inkinga already asebebhekene nazo. Program director, ama young women kule testing time na empilweni zethu ngifisa ukushare nje just one incident that happened in my district.
Mato,
yes, Chair.
We have a challenge of time and I'm hoping you are landing now.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm about to land. You see, there was an incident, Comrade Chair, apologies, that happened in the district of Ugu, in Umzumbe area, where a young woman who's heading a family of 3 siblings, they were shot to death. Immediately after, the community and the SAPS are rushing to attend to that incident. Neighbor of the very same area, a woman who is in business, was shot to death. So it is a challenge because when people are not working, they are at home, the increase of crime is lending Comrade Chair. There were a lot of things that I wanted to say, but then because you don't want to give me time, it's fine, Chair. I will try and respect. Encourage our government on the sector of justice and security cluster. They need to implement committees. I know committees, they are in place, but they are in operation as we speak. Some areas, especially in townships, are sedent. But when it comes to rural areas, no one, Chair, is assisting the community. Laws, regulations that talk to justice. As young women, we have a huge challenge, Comrade Chair. Comrade Chair, I wish to thank you, Akulu, the office Slalo Liga Premier, Kanjalo, the office Liga Speaker, who gave us this opportunity as young women. Especially to the programs abasinikeze wona azosilekelela kakhulu in KwaZulu-Natal. So thank you very much, Comrade, for wasting your time. But I had a lot to say in this seminar, but due to these virtuals, I know 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mato. You would notice ukuthi ngikunikezile nje isikhathi kancane for you to speak. I think the reason is because we wanted to capture the voice of young women from areas such as Umzumbe, knowing that your municipality is rural based in nature. So we've been able to capture the voices of young women, especially those coming from the areas outside the cities. Thank you very much, Mato. But the danger of giving the platform to a speaker, you tend to expand. But thank you very much for your valuable information that you have shared in this platform. Let us then move to Kwanele M. Let us note time, attendees and participants. We are really moving against time, and we are going to request at the end respondees ukuthi mhlambe siwanikeze 1 minute each. We'll request Kwanele M to be short and precise, and we'll request those of you who can write their comments. We comment to comment page to actually write your inputs there. Kwanele.
Thanks, Program Director. Kwanele known as Ayanda. Thanks for the opportunity. Comrade Chair, thanks for all presentations that have been made here on this commission. Umuntu akabonge nje ihlalo ukuthi uyithintile ipresentary gender commission uyithintile lento yokuthwalwa kwabantwana from school beyiswe emakhaya beyogana, and that issue ifanele sithathe as full as i-government currently, because ingane end up say drop out esikoleni because of a responsibility abayitholayo ukuthi bebe omama bebe babafazi while they're still studying at school, and then they end up bengasakwazi ukubuyela esikoleni. And that is a serious issue that we young women must have our own dialogues about it and make sure that our society are clear ukuthi umuntu, or even though bemkansile, even ama parents akhe vumile, but they also have a right to study, go to school as like everyone that has rights to this country. Issue again, we work employment in emasontweni, ey'ndaweni zokusebenza ke, it's very difficult ukuthi ke uclaim launch a case of sexual harassment, because these days asithembakali bantu besifazane, also not ngoba singathembakele thina, but abantu esisebenza nabo are the first women that are saying first uyamsukela lo muntu, or is not correct, or wena uzama ukudicelela omunye umuntu isithunzi phansi, while wena you raising your emotional issues. In fact, you raise into esuyithinta sexual harassment, kodwa kuba abantu besifazane futhi abayihliselana. Currently kune video ehambayo thina abantu besifazane ngasiyalo kakhulu lento ye violence within us, or even within the society, the whole society, to this gender thing. But nathi we are influencing each other, and then we must stop as young women. We must promote izinto ezinhle, we must promote to each other, we must grow up and support each other. Going to representation yaga health, health again, uke waba nayo a few years back into user friendly when you go to hospitals or we're going to schools. Currently siyambonga ukuthi government wethu because ukwazi ukuyenza lento user friendly to our young women. Ikhona iyasebenza la South Africa, but into ebaluleke kakhulu education with health, siyicela lento yokuvikeleka yamanzi kakhulu. Sanitation is not good, so besicela ukuthi besilethele amanzi kuma rural areas so that sizokwazi ukuyenza into ye sanitizing ngendlela proper. Ngidlule ngiye kwi presentation economic development.
Sizocela ukuthi ulendeke nawe manje kwanele, can you just summarize?
Yes. Thanks, I'll land. But before I land, I really need this on economical development. As young women, we do apply in this my youth funds, but we find out even if we apply, we don't get response back. And then we're trying to launch what was our problem when we were thinking for funding. I need a response to Comrade Nwabisa about funding. She did explain once again. It's about you fail mhlambe presentation yakho kuyona, that's why you respond back ukuthi you fail kwilento when you're requesting for funding. But siyacela ukuthi siyabantu besifazane la sibhekeleleke, and siyacela ukuthi if senza ama mistake ayibuye respond so that we can see ukuthi where do we make wrong, so that sizokwazi ukuthi senze kahle, siqhubeke kahle, sikwazi ukuthola funding. Ngiyabonga Chair. Thank you, Chair.
Siyabonga kakhulu kwanele. Sizocela ukuthi kungene uPhumzile Ncwane, and then after uPhumzile kuzongena uPamela. Phumzile?
Yes, Chair, thank you.
Proceed.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. Greetings to Chairperson of Colleagues of Life, Umama Phumzile, Mbatha-Cele, Honorable Chair, Ochair Isession, yes, Honorable Masiko, siyabingelela na wonke amalunga eParliament akhona ngaphakathi kwethu as well as ama-participant akhona. Ngizoqala nje nge-presentation ye-GBV, ye-gender based violence. Ngiyacabanga Chair, siyazi ukuthi sonke i-challenge esibhekene nayo emphakathini yethu ukuhlukunyezwa kwabantu besifazane, but the challenges siyithola kakhulu masiya ema-police stage we only to find ukuthi-ke usizo lukhona lukhona, but for those who are disabled, asazi ukuthi basizakala kanjani. You've got people who are deaf, abangakwazi uku-expressa their feelings mabefika lapha e-police station, and thina njengomphakathi asikunakile lokho, kodwa nawo bayahlukumezeka ikakhulukazi ngoba behlukumezeka abantu besifazane abaphilayo abakwazi ukukhuluma. Kangakanani-ke kulabo abangakwazi ukukhuluma abakhubazeke ngaleyo ndlela bakwazi ukuchaza noma ukuthi bazwakale ukuthi what are their challenges. If we can make sure ukuthi-ke each and every institution, more especially ama-police station as well as hospitals, but more especially sibhekane nalo ubhano sibhekane nalo lwe-gender-based violence, ukuthi abakwazi nabo ukuthi balaleleke futhi bazwakale ukuthi yiziphi inkinga ababhekana nazo. Secondly, I'll also go to a commission for gender equality. Siyabonga kakhulu presentation, Chair. It was very good, straight to the point. This is why yonke into, but I'll appreciate if singakwazi ukuthola ama-contact details abo each and every institution, whereby young people will be able to access them, call them, get their emails, understand ukuthi basebenza kanjani, so that they will get assisted kuyo yonke indlela, because ngizwile bakhuluma ngama-protection orders. Kuningi abakhuluma ngakho esibonayo ukuthi abantu abasha emphakathini bangasizakala if kungaba lula ukuthi bakwazi ukuthi batholakale ngendlela efanele. Lastly, Chair, I don't want to waste your time. Ngizoya kwinto yaka-health. I was very happy uma ngizwa udokotela presenter lapha ekhuluma kakhulu ngento ye-hygiene. But the challenge esiyibonayo uma sivakashela iy'kolo, Chair, ama-ship bins awekho ey'koleni. When I'm talking about ship bins, I don't know ukuthi ngayibeka kanjani, but ship bins is the bins that olahla khona ama-pets. Angazi ngiwabona ey'koleni, angazi noma akhona kwezinye iy'kole, kodwa ey'koleni ekakhulukazi zasemakhaya, we don't have those bins. If you can emphasize, Chair Mbatha-Cele as a chairperson of quality of life, that all principals, they must make sure ukuthi they do have those bins ema-toilet, so that kuzoba lula ukuthi bawalahle khona angavele abe exposed. And also appreciating, Chair, ukuthi uhulumeni sakhala siyabantu besifazane sakhuluma kwezwakala ama-pets atholakala ey'koleni. We must appreciate izinto ey'njengalezo, kungabi ngathi uhulumeni akabhekeleli nje ngaso sonke isikhathi, kodwa we must appreciate izinto ezinhle azenzile. Lastly, Chair, appreciating ama-presentation enziwe uNwabisa and the other lady, I can't remember the name, and I'm very happy ukuthi sizowathola ama-slides okanye the presentation, and also appreciate ama-programs abaqhamuka nawo okusho khona ukuthi kuningi okukhona for young people, but okubaluleke kakhulu ukuthi akufinyelele kubantu abasha and bekwazi ukuthi bakusebenzise ngendlela efanele, because I believe uma nihlele eParliament those budgets are allocated laphana kumele asetshenziswe makuphela unyaka weyimali expenditure kumele ibonakale ukwenzakaleni. So if those people bangakwazi ukuthi ba-access those funds ade bewapresent uNwabisa, ngaba into enhle kakhulu ukuthi afike kubona, singakwazi ukuthi even i-unemployment esikhala ngayo kangako iyehle kakhulu, ngoba sobe sesikwazi ukuthi akekho umuntu ofuna umsebenzi kodwa abantu bayakwazi ukuthi bayiphilise ngamabhizinisi axhaswe uhulumeni. That should be my submission, Chair. Thank you very much.
Awu Nkosi yami somlomo mama, siyabonga kakhulu. Yabona ukuthi la kubhaliwe Phumzile Mgcina, and I'm thinking shame omunye uPhumzile, but thank you very much Somlomo. To the attendees of the session, the one that has spoken now, the younger that has spoken now, uPhumzile, is a speaker of the municipality Amajuba. So we are happy, Phumzile, that you have raised issues of young women correctly so, and we are confident that the representation of young women in Amajuba district is well rested in your office, and there is a lot of work that you are going to be doing in relation to responding to the issues of young women in that district. Siyabonga kakhulu. Sizocela uPamela.
Sanibonani? Chair, yangizwa?
Siyakuzwa Pamela, siyakubona.
Okay. Ngiyabingelela wonke umuntu okhona la, the participants and everyone. Well, mina ngizoba short kakhulu. I'm so glad ukuthi khona nomuntu representa i-district yasemajuba la, because nami I'm around that era. However, I'm going to touch on the issue of gender-based violence. I mean, we all know we are facing such a terrible time as women in South Africa, but also I think there are issues that are boiling under the carpets that are not being touched, nor they have been exposed. The reason I'm saying that is that I'm one of the person who was once harassed by a man, and I went to a police station. Mangfika corner, there was such a long line. Most people, it was January, I remember very well, it was January, and most people were there to satisfy their copies and everything, documents and stuff. And when I went there, they told me to join the line. Mind you, I wasn't doing copies or, satisfying in everything. I was there as an emergency, but I had to join that long queue, standing in line. I was harassed, I was traumatized. However, me experiencing that, it meant I'm not the only one. And again, I stood there in line. Another time, I walked a friend who was also going to report a case to the very same police station. Now, she was told because she must stand in that long line as a state of emergency now, as a report. So I think what the SAPS should do, I'm very glad SAPS at least a police station, even that one person also deal with an emergency. I can't even begin to imagine who has to stand in those long lines just to report a case of a rape. Again, no, there will not be a wait like 48 hours. It's been like almost 2 years, but again, it's still happening. At the funeral, the girl from the Sports, again, Umawak mentioned at the funeral, which they called, got to Abalinde for 48 hours. And that 48 hours, can you imagine, 48 hours, deal. Again, siyayicela leyo nto leyo ukuthi bayistophe bayiqede indaba ka-48 hours. South Africa, it has become something very, very dangerous for a woman. Siyacela, I'm pleading again with the government, with the SAPS, with everyone, ukuthi le ndaba yokuthi kuthiwa silinde nabantu abazo-certify abantu abazokwenzani. Meanwhile, we are there traumatized as women. It has to stop. I'm pleading with the government, I'm pleading with the SAPS, because that on its own, it's very traumatizing. Again, I did research, it was not only that police station that operates that way. There are plenty, there's so many I've followed, and they've always said, no, it may not be Emajuba, but elsewhere, they operate the same way. So this thing, for me, everywhere, out here in South Africa, police station. Thank you very much, Chair.
Siyabonga kakhulu Pamela, we can tell that you are speaking really from the bottom of your heart, and not only for yourself but on behalf of other young women out there. I'm reminded of a case in Gugulethu where just this week, beginning of this week, it was a rape case. This young woman went to the police station and because manje socela ubuye kusasa kodwa ungagezi. So those are the things that really we need to attend to as this government. I think it's the opportune time right now to bring in Megan Miles from the South African Police Service. Over to you, Megan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to apologize. It's not Megan, it's Brigadier Francis Bentham. Because I'm using my daughter's laptop at home, because the police laptop wouldn't allow us to link up with you guys because of, it very secured. But thank you for the opportunity. I just want to say I take note, Honorable Mbatha-Cele from Parliament, our chairperson. I want to say all protocol observed. I've listened to all the presentations that was made, and I also feel it for the last speaker. And I can tell you that the organization, the police, takes gender-based violence very, very seriously. I can. You are all aware. Our minister does not even sleep. But I also want to share with the House that gender-based violence is the most difficult case to prevent, for the simple reason that we all know that it happens mostly in the home environment. But from my side, I want to say that my input that who are the perpetrators of gender-based violence? I appreciate and I love the seminar for young women. It's a very, very good initiative from government. But I want to ask, at which stage are we going to engage the boy child? We are very concerned about the girl child. There are lots of initiatives that we are taking to address the issue around the girl child. But statistics have shown us it is not the girl child that is committing gender-based violence, but the gender-based violence is being perpetrated by the boy child. I believe that we need to start focusing on the boy child. We need to start when the boy is conceived in our homes. We need to start teaching the boy child that this is not the way of life. This is not the way to abuse women. You are not grown up to feel that you have more superior powers than the women. We all know it comes a long history. We women had to fight to be recognized in any position, whether it is in the house, whether it is in work, whether it is in school or what. But what I want to say, if we can start concentrating on the boy child, and maybe we will be able to get that breakthrough that we so desperately need. Even we're talking about ukuthwala. It is not the girl, that it is the boy that takes the girl child and wants to make the girl child his wife. Chair, I want to suggest that we need to start focusing on the boy child so that we can easily protect the girl child. I am not going to go into the individual issues that was commented on the police, and that I just want to give this little bit of input because I did not really know what to prepare for today. So what I want to say is that I'm also the Deputy Provincial Champion for the Women's Network, and I'm sure you are all aware of the Women's Network in the South African Police Service. So I would like us to engage more on the issue of how can we change the boy child so that the boys can think differently and stop committing stop abusing or doing whatever is happening to our girl child. Thank you very much, Chair, for allowing me the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Brigadier. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All the protocol is observed. I know that in the services and the Defence Force, we need to really observe protocol. Thank you very much. But we do, maybe through other platforms, need to engage with the South African Police Services as young women on issues that we really face when we are going to report such cases, and also further in handling, as I had said before, the protection orders. But thank you very much for your contribution. We will now recognize Ubabalwa. Okay, while Babalwa is still trying to connect, is Nomfundo Masimula back?
Ngiyazwakala.
Uyezwakala Nomfundo?
Yes, ma, thank you so much.
Can I give you just strictly 2 minutes to make your contribution, please?
Okay, greetings. My name is Sengiwe Masimula. I live in Matadeni, a small township in Newcastle. I am a beauty artist who is still working at home. I do all things beauty.
Sengiwe, Babalwa, please can you sicela usimutele i-mic yakho, will recognize you immediately after uHlengiwe. You may proceed, Hlengiwe.
Okay. I am still working from home. I do all things beauty, from hair and nails. I started my business in 2014 after realizing my passion in beauty industry. I have a lot of support. I see my business growing each year. I do have a future vision in expanding into beauty spa. However, my biggest challenge is finding a place where I can further grow my business without fear of going back home. Looking around me, that has been a huge stumbling block for the most young women in Newcastle. If I could get assistance from the government in this regard, that will be a dream come true. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hlengiwe, for being short and precise. I think the relevant ears, in fact, sometimes it says from our lips to God's ears. In your case, it's from your lips to the relevant ears that are in this platform, as Nwabisa had presented, as well as Unomi from economic development. I'm sure that you were able to take down their details.
Yes.
Yes, all right. And they will communicate with you and you with them outside this platform. We would like to hear your story as a success story, Hlengiwe, after you have interacted with them. Babalwa. Please unmute your mic. Thank you. We can
Greetings to everyone. My name is Nombuso. I'm representing Umkanyago district. I would like to comment more on the causes of gender-based violence, which can be gender norms and hunger. The gender norms, I could say, it's whereby you in a society is where you in a society, and we like naturally know that men are controlling and aggressive. That is because of stereotype and that. Okay, what do we say in the team? What like uguti men's are controlling and aggressive. Ilanto sasithatela from abantu bakudala, like abantu generation age. Then sasho ukuthi lento leyo isingasilidela ukuthi thina nathi sikwazi ukuze sicontroleke, sikwazi ukuthi controller ama-men, which is very wrong. And for hunger is where like most women sell sex for anger because they want to survive, for hunger because like they want to survive. Then what I can even add is traditional practices like honor killings, whereby uyathwala, which is very wrong. Lento we must like try and spend ukuthi singakwazi ukuthi sikwazi ukumelana ne-gender-based violence. Bese I want to ask a question, ukuthi what can we actually do as women ukuthi singakwazi ukuthi sithathe ama-contraceptives kuma-clinics noma kuma-health services. Yini esingakwazi get like imaphi amanye ama-options esingakwazi ukuthi siye kuwona ukuze sikwazi ukuthatha khona. There's like amakliniki, it's very, we can't, as young people, asikwazi ukuthi sihambe siyo-approach amakliniki ukuthi sizogxekwa nakho konke.
Siyabonga kakhulu for your contribution, Yanga. I think umele not only yourself but other young school-going women in this country, South Africa, and the province, KZN, not only Umkhanyakude but everybody. Your voice has been heard. Quality of life is here, and those are the voices they want to hear of young women on the ground. Sizocela uNompumelelo Mdakane from the National Youth Development Agency ukuthi athi nje kancane ukudlula on some of the issues that have been raised here that the National Youth Development Agency can make an intervention on. We are still encouraging you young women to put your comments down because we are having officials on this platform who are currently processing all the comments eswenzayo bazowadlulisela ku quality of life committee so that they are able to be processed correctly. And we are also requesting contributors in terms of the presenters to also go to the comment section and pick up on the issues that have been raised through the comments. Unompumelelo Mdakane ukhona?
Yes, ngikhona.
So cela ukuthi ke sikunikeze platform. Ngiyabonga.
Sanibonani, actually angisesi uMdakane sengozuma. Unompumelelo Zuma wase NYDA ngipresenta abantu abasha. As you know, NYDA deals with abantu abasha from the ages 18 to 35. Thina siyo NYDA contributing to abantu abasha sibanika ama-services nama-products esinawe NYDA, particularly kuzoqala kuma-products wethu okuwama-grant products esinawe NYDA, which is the pilot program that is esinayo eqala from threshold 1 to threshold 4. From threshold 1 is 1,000 rand, we are threshold 4 oku 250,000 rand. Esebenzisana nama departments amaningi afana nabo o Department of Economic Development or Department of Agriculture, maningi amanye ama department angenayo kuwona. Sibuye sibe nama voucher program okuyi non-financial program yethu sisebenzisayo masenza uma business plan, feasibility study, my due diligence eswenzela ama clients wethu. Bese siphinda futhi siba ne-market linkage ekhona kuma-product wethu, siphinde sibe ne-mentorship for businesses, siphinde sibe ne-job placement whereby siplace abantu abasha abanama-CVs abalethe NYDA either for ama-learnership or ama-internships nama-departments noma nama-SETAs esisebenzisana nawo kuma-programs wethu. Recently njengoba kuyi-lockdown sinayo i-relief fund ebesiyenza of which ivaliwe-ke izolo. I-relief fund yethu ibisizela abantu abasha kuma-operations we-business labo go up to capped at 10,000 rand. Then isiwenzileke from Durban branch senzile abantu ebesiba-assessa out of ama-emails esiwatholile sikwazi ukuthola abantu abawu-82 ababenefitile from i-relief fund. Siphinde sibeke nama-services e-NYDA enkulu kakhulu iyona le training business management training programs siyibiza nge-BMT, sitrainer for i-business lakho. If usene idea generate a business idea or sithi start your business idea ku-SYB or sithi uma ngabe usunayo i-business you grow your business. And then sibe namanye ama-trainings angena kakhulu ke labantu abasha engibabona befaka ama-uniforms la ku-platform yethu okuyi-life skills program la sitshela khona ngabo gender-based violence ukuthi iyini lento, sitshele ngobungozi bo-social media okuhle nokumbi, sitshele ngo-Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, sitshele nangempilo iyonke iyona sibiza nge-life skills leyo. Siphinde sibe ne-job preparedness lapho khona sikutshela ukuthi i-CV ibhalwa kanjani umuntu omusha uma usunayo i-degree kodwa uthola ukuthi umsebenzi awusawutholi, sikutshengisa ukuthi ibhala kanjani i-CV, how do you prepare for an interview, kwi-interview ufika uthini nokuthi i-CV yakho kumele ime kanjani. Siphinde siyithathe i-CV yakho sikutshela ukuthi nama-learnerships akhona from these SETAs or sinama-internships akhona from these this department or these organizations, and then sikhona ukuthatha ama-CV wenu siwafake khona. Not bonke abantu abasha abafaka ama-CV abazothola ama-spaces, but nakhona futhi kuya-recruitwa njengoba kusuke recruitwa nanoma kuyiphi department. Siphinde futhi sibe ne-outreach program esinayo e-NYDA lapho khona ama-platforms akanje makhona amanye ama-departments akhona nathi NYDA sibonakala sikhona sichaza ngama-services akhona e-NYDA. Bese siba no-NYS lo siza kakhulu uma ngabe kukhona ama-internship, ama-learnership nakhona noma kukhona izinto ezifana no-Collins Chabane Learnership Center ekhona la eMaritzburg iyasiza kakhulu ukupenda kwey'kole, ukunikeza abantu abasha ama-uniform, ama-wheelchair, ukutshala for ama-old age homes, ukutshala iy'tshalo nje ama-vegetable, ukuklina nayo yonke leyo nto sinayo i-NYS. Siphinde sibe ne-Solomon Mahlangu scholarship based e-head office yethu lapho khona umuntu omusha enikezwe scholarship for everything uma ise-tertiary institution. Ukuze basithole sikhona eMaritzburg, sikhona kwi-district office yethu silapha noSida sikwi-co-location. Sikhona i-office letter se-Newcastle i-full branch service ikwamasipala phakathi. Sikhona eMpangeni sihlangene nomasipala branch service yethu. Sikhona eThekwini branch yethu enkulu ikhona ku-Walnut Road ku-number 5 modula e-workshop. Siphakathi kwe-ICC ne-Reserve Bank. Bangasithola ku-087 158 7712 087 158 7752 noma basithumelele 7712 sorry noma basithumelele i-email ku-info@nyda.gov.za. Sikhona kuwo wonke ama-social networks. Sikhona ku-Twitter NYDA RSA, sikhona ku-Instagram, sikhona futhi naku-Facebook. Siyatholakala. Sikhona futhi nakwi-call center yethu 0800 525252. Siyabonga.
Siyabonga kakhulu noMpumelelo, and siyajabula ukubona as young women ukuthi i-NYDA isithathe igxathu lokuthi i-decentralize. Qala sasibona ukuthi igcwele kakhulu around the cities and the towns, but we are seeing ukuthi ke iyakwazi manje ukuthi ke ama-local offices ahambe afikelele endaweni ezifana njengomzumbe ko-Potchefstroom, you know, outside the cities. Siyabonga kakhulu. We encourage abantu besifazane abancane ukuthi ke baxhumane ne-NYDA through the social media platforms and the number that they have said. Sizocela ukuthi sithathe ke ama-participants ethu okugcina because of time. Sesizothatha njena uNozipho Dube noCebisa Zikalala. Siceleke my young women, my young ukuthi ningabi discouraged. Qhubekani nibhale lapho kwama-comments, nenza ama-inputs enu. Ama-officials are assisting with processing these comments, and your contributions are being taken very seriously. Sibhaleleni ke lapho Nozipho Dube. Okay, Unozipho has written her comment down on the comment sheet. Cebisa Zikalala. Okay. It sounds like uCebisa Zikalala has also lost the connection. All right. Siyabonga kakhulu my young women ngama contributions enu enwenzile. Njengoba bengishilo ekuqaleni ukuthi Equality of Life Standing Committee is here to listen and process all the contributions that you have made so that the oversight role yabo abayidlalayo will be better enhanced and issues of young women will be adequately responded to. Sizocela ukuthi sibanikeze 1 minute each presenters ethu just to summarize, you know, and respond in 1 minute. We have noted all the comments that are attributed to your different or respective areas that you had presented on. I will hand over to Ms. Ncwane to take on 1 minute and respond. And obviously, we are also requesting for you to leave your contact details so that you can be accessible to young women when they need you. Ms. Ncwane.
Thank you, Chairperson. There are a lot of things that Amayanga have spoken on, but I would like to take quickly firstly the issue of people with disabilities. Someone uyenze example specific ukuthi umuntu uma efika police station deaf usizo luzo angalithola kanjani. I want to share with the meeting in 2019 last year on November, the Commission hosted a stakeholder engagement where we were discussing this issue of services, specifically to people who are deaf. There is something that speaks specifically to their right, relay interpreters. For now, also,
Sis Zanele, I think the mic is a problem. Can you speak to the mic? Thank you.
Okay. Kafishane nje bengisho ukuthi for 2019 sike sa host CCE is stakeholder engagement with people aba deaf, where we invited SAPS, NPA, Justice and Social Development. So this is an area of concern, but so on the other hand, I would like to comment government ukuma services iyakwazi ukuthi ifake some izinto ezizokwazi ukusiza njengani uma ama services is call me lapho akhulume nge-SMS ending lapha i-NPA iqala ama sevaliwe inawo ama services allocate khona interpreter ukusiza umuntu o-deaf, but again kusayinkinga. We need to still work on that and still monitoring as a commission. La ukhona omunye ukhulume ukuthi it is difficult to police ama incidents or ama cases at TV because it's in private spaces. But the issue that we need also to raise here is, what about the cases that have been reported? What about the cases that have been reported and where people phone and call kuthiwa even ayikho? What about the case usufikile ukhona okhulumile la police station eharasiwe kodwa kwathi wajoyina uline wabantu abazo-certify, so ithini kanti i-service standard level uma ususe-police station? Because it is very clear where each police station should have a victim-friendly room where abantu abafika with these kind of cases need to be attended quickly. I have also sent a person who chats ama details ngifake izindaba engicabanga ukuthi abantu abasha abakwazi ukusebenzisa kalula o-Facebook o-Twitter. Ngizobeke seyapost futhi landline yethu ne-address. Ngiyabonga.
Siyabonga kakhulu Sis Zanele for your contributions. Siyabonga futhi ke ne-information oyifakile on the chat group. We will pick up on the contact details so that we are able as young women to come closer to the Commission on Gender Equality. Sizocela uDr. Phalanndwa ukuthi ke a responde in 1 minute. Dr. Lusakhona.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Doctor. You may proceed.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Program Director. And I would like to thank all our young girls to participate in this program. So there were many issues that were raised by our youth. For example, Ubabalwa from Umkanyakude, she raised a problem in accessing health facilities in our district. So as Department of Health, we've got a program that is called Adolescent and Youth Friendly Health Services, where we have got different programs like youth care clubs, youth zone, peer educators, where we turn our public health facility to a safe space, especially for the adolescents and youth, and then where we create an environment for them to access. If you remember, we used to call it happy hours by then, but now we are calling it youth zones. So where they go specifically and then they talk to one person that is friendly to the health, to the adolescent. So we are encouraging our youth to talk to such people, to go to our facility. Their services are there, and then we'll share the contact so that if they're encountering problem, they will be able to talk to us, and we'll direct them to the relevant people at the district in our facility that they can talk to. There were issues about by Brigadier. She reported the issue about gender-based violence, and I heard our youth talking about it. So just to remind our youth that it's not in terms of health, we've got post-exposure prophylaxis that we are supposed to give within 72 hours after being sexually assaulted. That is a treatment to prevent you from getting HIV. So we are saying, go to our facilities. Even if you don't via through police station, you go directly to our health facility. They will be able to call the police while we are there, but you'll be able to get the treatment for you to prevent yourself from getting HIV. So as Department of Health, we are saying all the sexual and reproductive services we are really offering in our facility. And I'm saying for the people who really need to talk to us, we can share the details for district coordinators whom they can talk to at their district so that they've got an idea about can talk to in terms of sexual and reproductive health and other health-related matters. Thank you very much.
Siyabonga kakhulu, Dokotela, and thank you in advance for sharing your contact details. I can see that there are a number of questions that are specific to the Department of Health. We are requesting to be assisted by my officials because there are also email addresses that have been provided for participants who require responses from health. We'll then request Unomi. Nomi, we can see that you've also shared your contact details where you can be reached. I'm going to give you 1 minute just to wrap up.
Thank you, Program Director. I've noted the questions. On the question relative to being exposed to information, we do have a information dissemination pillar within the Youth Economic Empowerment Strategy that guides us and ensures that every year we go out in the form of exposed roadshows and attend even other government departmental events and share information with young people. But also there's a departmental website and also social media platforms that we use to share information. Being that as it may, we will expand on that. Maybe we need to be more visible as they had requested. The past financial year alone, we had like 25 expos and visits to different districts sharing information on the projects that the women and the youth empowerment units have. And then on the issue of youth fund and responses thereto, we did share information and had one-on-one sessions with some of the people at AMA Road shows that had applied. But going forward, they can also email me and we can share those. Nwabisa did highlight a couple of reasons why people were being disqualified. And to make young women get funding, we'll really need to work with them and make them understand the importance of packaging their documentation, and also the issue of compliance is very critical when it comes to getting funding within youth fund. So they can email me again and I can share all the reasons for disqualification, and then again I'll also assist them with guidance on what is it that is important and imperative to have when you are applying for such a fund. Then to respond to Pumzile, thank you for your comment. We'll take it back and we'll ensure that more young people benefit from this fund. Siyabonga.
Siyabonga kakhulu Nomi, and thank you for providing your contact details. Young women will reach out and we are hoping that you will respond adequately. To the attendees, we have a communication from UBEV, from the Total Shutdown Movement. We know that they are currently doing a lot of work with regards to gender-based violence cases. Also, they are providing victim and survivor support. UBEV has in the chat also given her contact details if there are any cases that a young woman would like to speak to UBEV about. I know that she is there to provide that support. Kindly get Bev's detail in the chat group. She has noted in fact, she has uploaded all her contact details from the Total Shutdown Movement. I will then request our last presenter, Unwabisa. Nwabisa, we can also see that you've posted your contact details and we appreciate that. We will request you to just round up in 1 minute, please, Nwabisa, and wrap up. Siyabonga.
Thanks, Chair. Most of the points Unomi have highlighted on, but Nonopa Khala, I've shared my contact details. She can contact me for more details. On the bursary issues, we fund, because I saw someone wrote that, are we funding only tourism? We fund all sectors except the aviation. We no longer fund the aviation, but all other fields we do fund, except the aviation, Chair. Thank you.
Siyabonga kakhulu Nwabisa, sizwile kahle ngesikhathi uthi futhi you are not funding ama-brothels as well.
Yes, Chair.
As alcohol, as well as alcohol-based projects. And we appreciate that because most of the time it's young women who become victims of these activities. Siyabonga kakhulu, and we really appreciate our presenters that have given us such insightful information in their presentations. As I had said, we are taking all the comments that you are posting in the comment section. I will now hand over to the chairperson of the Standing Committee on the Quality of Life, Honorable Mbatha-Cele, to deal with the way forward. Slalo, young women have said a mouthful, they have said a lot, and I know that given time, other young women would have brought a lot of perspective about their lives and the issues that they face at a grassroots level. Sicela ukukunika sihlala ithuba lokuthi njengoba nje sesikhulume kangaka siyabantu abasha KwaZulu-Natal, silibonga naleli thuba Equality of Life Standing Committee neParliament la KwaZulu-Natal lisinike lona. Siyalibonga leli thuba, sesikhulumile sihlalo, siyacela ukwazi ukuthi ke ithini way forward, where to from here.
Thank you, Mphathi-Cele. Firstly, as KZN Legislature, we are very proud to have young women like yourselves in our province. We have noted all your comments and recommendations. We are going to craft your recommendations and your comments as resolutions of this seminar. I want also to promise you, Chair, and the attendees that we are going to have this seminar for the next coming 3 years. And we have also planned to hold a similar seminar, but directed to young boys, because ukufundisa abantu besifazane kuphela, amantombazane kuphela, angeke kusincede if we are not also educating the boys. Mphathi-Cele, I want also to make a promise, or we make a promise as Quality of Life, ukuthi sibona kukhona igenge encane la from ama high schools, ukuthi those kids must go back emakhaya bayofunda, baphase. Tina, as Quality of Life, will make sure that we talk to the Office of the Premier, sibacelele ukuthi noma kanjani ngonyaka ozayo if bephasile umatric senze isiqiniseko ukuthi bayawathola ama-bursaries. We are committing ourselves to that ukuthi all participants, those who are from the high schools, they must go back to homes and start studying very hard so that they will pass their matric, and will make sure that they get bursaries from the office of the premier. Sizokwenza lokho sokucela ukuthi akwenzeke noma kanjani. We'll keep the register ngoba siyazi ukuthi ke na obani abakhona la kule seminar yethu. Mphathi wohlelo, I've already mentioned that we are going to send you, or to send all the attendees, the recommendations of this seminar. Sibonge kakhulu ukuthi ni participateile and you have respected each other, and also sibonge kakhulu nama presenters ethu, they were very clear on their presentations. I'm not taking umsebenzi we vote of thanks, but as the chairperson, because angeke ngisakwazi ukuthi ngibuye, ngiyafisa nje ukusho ukuthi I'm happy the way ama presenters are presenting ngakhona, and we are happy about participation of young women in the program. You are encouraging us ukuthi siqhubeke nale program, as we promise you ukuthi we'll continue with this program for the next coming 3 years. Sisegwi office as quality of life. Chairperson, I also want to thank you. I know ukuthi there will be a vote of thanks, but thank you very much for conducting this session very well. Thank you so much. I thank you, Chair.
Ngizibongele nami sihlalo kakhulu. You know, kukhona into ethi my heart has skipped a beat. Yabonga Salo, my heart skipped a beat when you mentioned the fact ukuthi i-platform le NEC createle yona as young women, as the KZN legislature, will be going on for 3 years. I'm sure that if we could clap ngabe sesishaye izandla manje sonke. Siyabonga kakhulu Salo nokuthi Salo, the fact yokuthi most of the time mangabe kukhona ama seminars nama workshop nani siye accuse bekuthiwa sisenza ama talk shops, but I'm happy that at the end of it all you have made a commitment that says that the young women that are here on this platform representing other young women out there in the communities will get special attention in terms of availability of bursaries from government through the office of the premier. Funeke sikubonge kakhulu lokho Sala ukuthi ke asihlangananga nje lana sakhuluma senza i-talk shop, but maningi ama-commitments, quality of life that has been made in such a platform. Sibonga kakhulu. Sizocela ukuthi ke sithole i-vote of thanks by the member of the quality of life committee. But I can see that the left hand knows what the right hand is doing, because she is also the chairperson of the portfolio committee on social development. And Honorable Swat Pointombela, most of the issues that have been brought to the forth by young women in this platform will need to be actioned by the very same department that you are practicing oversight on, the Department of Social Development. Siyabonga in advance ukuthi those issues will be carried straight to that portfolio committee to be processed by the department. Siyacela ukuthi usenzele vote of thanks as we are ending this beautiful seminar.
Thank you very much, Honorable Program Director. Program Director, Honorable Figile Masigo, the Chairperson of the Standing Committee of the Status of Women, Youth, Children, Elderly and People with Disabilities, Honorable Pumzile, Mbatha-Cele, MPLs, Pastor L. Mashiteng, Secretary of the Legislature, Ms. Naido, all the officials of the departments and all the presenters and all the young women, I greet you all. Program Director, let me first thank you. Funeka ngiqale ngibonge wena ngokuthi unginikeze ithuba lokuthi ngenze le vote of thanks, Honorable Director. And you have given me this opportunity to just do that, and I'm going to do that. But you must be prepared. I will take about 30 minutes to do this vote of thanks.
You can proceed, Honorable Member.
It's a joke. I thank the Chairperson, Honorable Mbatha-Cele, as well as the members of the Standing Committee of the Quality of Life for organizing this seminar. As Honorable Mbatha-Cele said, we organized this seminar for young women, but we still have got to. We are still going to have a seminar for boys to men. A seminar that is organized. I think it is in the next month. But we have organized this seminar for young women during this month, where we are celebrating the contributions that have been made by the youth and young people towards the liberation and freedom of not only the youth, but all of us as citizens of South Africa, so that one day we truly have a non-racial, non-sexist, and a democratic, prosperous South Africa. It is the seminar. It is young women that are part of this seminar. We have identified them especially because it is during this period where it has been reported that there are a lot of gender-based violence incidences. And that's why we have organized this seminar. We thank all the presenters who presented here. They've actually made us to know what programs do they have. They've empowered us. And even the participants themselves, their questions and their concerns, they raised here during this seminar. They've assisted us as a standing committee that is playing oversight. So it helps us which questions we'll ask different departments. And ngiyavumelana nawe, Honorable Fikile Masiko, ukuthi I was made a member of the portfolio committee of the Standing Committee of the Quality of Life, deliberately so, because I'm also the Chairperson of Social Development. If you agree with me, you'll find that most of the issues that we deal with at the social development are the problems that we deal with as the Standing Committee of the Quality of Life. This seminar was organized so that young women, they come together, and we encourage them to say no to gender-based violence. Enough is enough. Let me first thank you, Program Director, Honorable Fikile Masiko, ngoba sidla ngokukhohlwa ukuthi sibancome Program Director. You have directed this program very well. That's why I am starting with thanking you. Your opening remarks were on point. It shows that you are one of the young women indeed. Would like to thank Pastor Mashiteng for the opening prayer and the scripture on Psalm 75, verse 6 and 7 you have given us. Usiphilisile ngokomoya. I would like to further thank the other presenters who have empowered us, Ms. Z Ncwane, from Commission for Gender Equality, thank you so much for the paper you delivered on the impact of gender-based violence on young women. Dr. M. Phalanndwa from the Department of Health, thank you so much. You have said a mouthful. There are a lot of issues that you have raised around COVID-19, comorbidities, sexual reproduction, and young women's health in general. Ms. N. Donaldson, thank you so much. The presentation was empowering. We needed to hear how government is economically empowering young women. Ms. Nwabisa Dano, I won't say Ms. N. Dano, ngoba usemncane futhi ingane yami uNwabisa siyazana. Ms. Nwabisa Dano, thank you very much from the office from the Premier's office. The Premier's office is a coordinating office, and it is the one that deals with a KZN Youth Fund, and you have actually told us about the opportunities that are there and the benefits that young women can abangakwazi ukuthi bazifumane from the office of the Premier. Thank you so much. You have said a mouthful, and the presentations were very good. And we also thank the SAPS. I hope that the SAPS has actually listened to the concerns that were raised by some of the participants during as we were progressing with the seminar. If you can correct that. We also want to extend our thanks to the followers. I am told that we are being followed by more than 5,702 followers as we speak. In conclusion, I would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to all members of the legislature who have joined this seminar through Teams. I won't forget to thank the Secretary of the Legislature, Ms. Naido, and the legislature officials, especially the IT unit, for assisting us to join the teams. Our thanks also goes to the Speaker of the Legislature for approving this seminar. Otherwise, besingeke sikwazi ukuthi sibe nayo le seminar mangaba ibingazange iapprove nguSpeaker. Siyabonga kakhulu, sinethemba lokuthi usazoyi-approve nale esiyiplenayo ukuyenza ye-Boys to Men iseminar. Alikho ke igama elihlula ukuthi ngiyabonga. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you again. God bless you and stay safe. Together, we are pushing for the future. We want young women on course and on course to end femicide. I thank you.
Siyabonga kakhulu esihlalo, and I know that you have thanked the Parliament as an institution for affording us as young women the opportunity to engage. And I know that we as the province have lived by the global goals of leaving no woman behind. Siyabonga kakhulu. We stand in committee eholwa usihlalo wethu Honorable Mbatha-Cele. Siyabonga leli thuba. Young women, we have come to the end of this seminar, and I want to appreciate each and every one of you for participating. Honorable Swatboy Ntombela has done the vote of thanks. I want to end by saying to the Committee on the Quality of Life that Umama Charlotte Maxeke was speaking about you when she said this work is not for yourselves. and do not live above your people. You have not lived above your people, you have lived with them. And she ends her quote by saying that when you rise, or if you rise, bring someone with you. And as young women, we have felt that we are being brought on board in the journey on the emancipation of women in general and young women in particular. Salo siyabonga kakhulu, siyabonga kwikomiti, siyabonga kuSpeaker weParliament, siyabonga kwiprovince yaKwaZulu-Natal for availing us and giving us the leadership that they have given us, that creates such platforms for us as young women to express our challenges, but also our journey in life. I'm sure that the future, as you can see, is in good hands. There are young women from Mkhanyakude, there are young women from Amajuba, from Mzumbe, all those areas that were previously disadvantaged. And their voices today have been brought to the fore through this committee, through this legislature. Our women really in this parliament are doing us proud. Siyabonga kakhulu, and indeed we can assure you that we are standing on great shoulders. Ngalabantu abayimina besifazane abayicreatayo le platform. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this session. To those as well that are at home following through the social media platform, your comments, your suggestions have been taken into consideration. We are confident that the committee will process them adequately and send them to the relevant departments, and the responses that you have requested you will receive through the email addresses that you've put in the comments. Ngiyabonga kakhulu. The seminar is now officially closed. We've completed the business of the day. Thank you very much.
Well done, Program Director, well done.
Well done.
Thank you, Program Director.